Did you bring the form?
W. Harley Miller Systems understands the need and desire for reliable and affordable smart home solutions. Secure your home with a security system and keep a close eye on your family. Automate your home with a Control4 system and have smart technology work as one. Set daily schedules to control your thermostats. Push a button and set the mood for dinner by dimming lights and playing music, or just sit back and enjoy a movie in your own home theater. Put decades of experience to work for you. Visit us at whmsystems.com or call 304-350-1931.
West Virginia is Trump country, and Mac Warner is working with President Trump to keep America great. Mac Warner cleaned up the Secretary of State's office and is fighting against election fraud. Pro-Trump, conservative, West Virginia Secretary of State, Mac Warner.
I had to pack up all my things. I had to leave my home. And I never knew where I was going next. It felt like I never even had a say. But then you came along.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
To change a child's story, go to mycasaep.org.
My name is Marshall Wilson. I'm the only independent serving in the West Virginia legislature, and I'm running for governor to uphold and defend the Constitution of the state of West Virginia and of the United States, because I want my children to raise their children in a free, just, prosperous, and secure land. If my children have that opportunity, yours will also. Look us up at marshallforwv.com. Please vote S. Marshall Wilson for governor. Thank you very much.
Write in S. Marshall Wilson for governor. Paid for by Marshall for WV.
We welcome you back to the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. Time now for the check of the area schedule. It's brought to you by Rock's Local Markets, fast, fresh, friendly. There are no other games tonight involving EPAC teams, as Berkeley County is orange in the COVID color map system. That means all 4 teams get an impromptu bye week. Let's take a look at the teams, beginning with number 4, Martinsburg. Yes, the Bulldogs the highest ranked out of the area teams with a 4-1 record, winners of 3 in a row. Offensive line coach Chuck Lynch says they'll treat it like any other bye.
This week we are taking advantage of some weight room time, getting in the weight room, doing some conditioning, but we're also going to do a little bit of practice, kind of scaling it back because of restrictions and guidelines and all that. So it's going to look a little bit different, but still getting some work in. You know, we're just trying to figure out what's going to happen, number one, and number two is, we may not even play Cabell Midland next week. We may be the right caller or them not, and then have to start all over again. So, we'll start Sunday just like we always do.
Martinsburg is supposed to play at Cabell Midland next Friday night, but that all depends on whether Berkeley County gets out of orange and what Cabell County status is. Right now they're yellow. If Berkeley County gets to gold, that game still could not take place. We'll know more on Saturday evening. Meanwhile, Musselman comes in at number 5 in the latest WVSS-AC rankings. They're a winner of 5 in a row with a 6-1 record. Head coach Brian Thomas on the week off.
We just got a couple little bumps and bruises and things that could heal up. So, we're really approaching it kind of like a bye week. We're going to work on some things, but at the same time, kind of got to find your balance between, hey, we want to get better and work on stuff, but at the same time, we're going to shorten our practices, let you guys get home, let you get your schoolwork done because they have a lot of online work this week, and then at the same point, let you guys rest and relax and kind of recharge the batteries almost, if you will.
Next up for the Applemen, they're scheduled to host Spring Mills next Friday. Speaking of the Cardinals, they come in at number 9 in this week's rankings, a record of 5 wins and 2 losses coming off of a win on the road last week. Head coach Josh Sims.
Obviously, we've been going at it for a long time and thus far having a pretty good year. And like you said, we knew orange was probably coming. The kids knew orange was probably coming. So they really left it on the field. And we told them before the game, play every play like, it's your last. You really saw that type of effort out of our kids. You saw 110% effort in every play, and the results showed for it.
That leads us to the Hedgesville Eagles, still looking for their first win on the season. They are 0-7 heading into this impromptu bye week. Head coach Matt Faircloth.
We went back to a lot of the basics, just getting position-specific stuff in. Hey, let's get our footwork down. Let's get our timing on throwing the ball. It's, just little things. And then we've done some different different things at the end of practice to really push through, you know, flipping tires. We got some kegs out here filled with sand. You know, we got them carrying, running up and down the field, pushing them, pulling them, just different stuff to keep them engaged, but also still get the work we want out of them.
While the Eagles are supposed to host Jefferson next Friday, Coach Faircloth telling us they're working on a game hosting Berkeley Springs on Monday night if Berkeley County can get back to the gold status. Our matchup tonight is the only EPAC game. It has number 16 Washington at number 20 Jefferson. We'll continue to preview the matchup coming up on the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. Our check of the area schedule is brought to you by Rock's Local Markets, fast, fresh, friendly. This is West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR TV 10.
They're my closest friends. We've been through a lot together. Seeing our kids off to college, Kelly losing her mom, my 50th birthday, I trust them with so much. So when it came to my finances, I trusted Kelly's referral to her Ameriprise advisor. Beth gives me the comprehensive advice that helps me feel confident my financial future is secure. With the right financial advisor, life can be brilliant. Ameriprise Financial.
Former Charlestown City Council member Wayne Clark is running for the West Virginia 65th House of Delegates District. A local entrepreneur, Wayne Clark is best known as the owner and manager of Locust Hill Golf Course since 2014. He understands the importance of improving education, fighting the opioid crisis, and fostering small business and entrepreneurship. Find out more on his Facebook page at Clark for Delegate. Wayne Clark is looking for your support in the upcoming November 3rd general election. Paid for by candidate.
Floodwaters can spread E. coli bacteria. Here's Bill Kearns from the Berkeley County Health Department about what to do if your well is tested positive.
If it's just a one-time contamination, you can superchlorinate your well, which we have instructions at the health department. They could call and talk to us. You're providing an excessive amount of bleach down the well. Then you do a runoff to get that out of the system, to get the bleach through your lines, get any contamination out of there. You do a runoff of so long, and then you can have it tested again.
The Berkeley County Health Department, 122 Waverly Court in Martinsburg. Call 304-263-5131.
Like a successful football team, when it comes to choosing an effective representative in Charleston, experience matters. First elected in 2012, Delegate Paul Espinosa is the experienced, fiscally conservative voice Jefferson County needs, standing up for the issues we care about. In this crucial election year, when residents of the 66th District cast their vote for House of Delegates, the choice is clear. Re-elect Paul Espinosa. Paid for by Espinosa for Delegate, Mary C. Espinosa, Treasurer.
Let's talk trash, because when it comes to trash, you have options. Panhandle Dumpsters is a local family-owned garbage hauling company serving both residential and commercial customers with weekly trash pickup, dumpster service, yard waste pickup, and bulk pickups too. Panhandle Dumpsters will give you a free trash can and provide curbside service for just $23 a month. Panhandle Dumpsters features a fleet of quieter, eco-friendly garbage trucks, thereby reducing the noise usually associated with pickup. Switch now and save up to 30%. Call 833-DUMP-STR, panhandledumpsters.com.
McCrae is dedicated to protecting our employees and you, our customers, as we provide our communities essential heating, cooling, and indoor air quality needs during these trying times. Take advantage of McCrae's exclusive offer. Purchase a new Trane high-efficiency system and receive a $1,000 instant rebate plus 0% interest financing for 48 months on qualifying products. Hurry, this offer won't last. Visit McCraeWay.com/TV today to learn more. It's hard to stop a train.
And we welcome you back in to Cougar Stadium. We're on the campus of Jefferson High School in Shenandoah Junction, West Virginia. Welcome back into the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. It is Jefferson hosting the Washington Patriots. Time to take a look at those Patriots. They come in with a record of 4-3 and coming off of a good win last time out. It was Friday when they took on Preston and got a win over the Knights, 35-8.
And a game that, going into last week, head coach Glenn Simpson talked about they needed to win to keep the momentum going. The week earlier, they came up with that, for many, surprising win against Frankfort, 20-19, a Frankfort team that had already defeated two Eastern Panhandle Athletic Conference teams. That win was a big one, but without the win last week, it wasn't going to mean nearly as much. They went out and got that win against Preston and now need to carry that momentum into this county matchup, a game that was originally scheduled for November the 6th, but now these two teams are playing tonight due to openings in their schedule caused by, what else, COVID.
And Matt, in a Eastern Panhandle that is not short on talent running the football. This Washington Patriot team is led by the second leading rusher in the entire Eastern Panhandle and quarterback Frankie Amore. This is a guy that we've seen have snaps since week 1 2 years ago when they were at Hedgesville. It's the first time we saw Frankie come on the scene, and he has impressed us since that very game. And this year, no different. Again, number 2, only behind what may be the best player in the state, and Blake Hartman in terms of rushing yards, even ahead of Keon Padmore Johnson, who seems to be running across the state this year. So this offense is going to go as Frankie Amore goes.
Yeah, 941 rushing yards and 16 rushing touchdowns in 121 attempts. Look, this is not a passing football team. This Washington Patriots team has had a grand total of 258 passing yards in 7 games, and they have thrown just 3 touchdown passes. Now, the good news is there hadn't been an interception thrown. They're protecting the football even those few times that they do throw it. But with this single wing, he is the guy that you definitely have to keep your eyes on. And a young man that is not huge but runs really hard. 5'8", 155 is what he is listed at, but does a great job in running this single wing.
This team, you mentioned it, runs that single wing. So while the quarterback and those running backs are important, what is the most important part of this offense? And I say this is a former offensive lineman. It is those big men up front. And this is a team that is experienced with those big men in the trenches, and that has helped them get more and more comfortable in this single wing. We've seen that from last year going into this year, our third time we've seen these Patriots this year, and they're getting more and more comfortable and really starting to utilize some of the intricacies of this single wing offense.
To me, I think that's one of the deposits that has been laid over these last couple of years, leading now to the withdrawals of this year, and that's the weight room at Washington. And Coach Simpson talking about that when he took over the program, needing and wanting to build up that offensive and defensive line, because where do you win football games? At the line of scrimmage, and he's done just that. It's paying off with that offensive line playing the way that they are this year.
We talked about in the first segment something that is going to be clear here tonight is defense is going to play a big role in this game, trying to stop the offensive side of the football for the opposition. And this Washington team, while they have been scoring a lot of points offensively, has struggled at times on that defensive side of the football, especially keeping up with an athletic offense, which we know Jefferson has.
And that'll be the key. One of my keys coming up later in this pregame show is how well they can, do not giving up the big play. Keep plays in front of you, make tackles, and don't let those athletes get out into those open spaces where obviously Jefferson can make some plays. I know we said averaging 26 points a game roughly, but have had those times where they've put up 42 points and 44 points. They can make it happen.
All right, that's our quick look at the Washington Patriots. Coming up next, we'll hear from Patriot head coach Glenn Simpson as part of our pregame show. Glenn Simpson next. This is West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
We've been in a slow-moving educational crisis in West Virginia. Our schools are crumbling. Our teachers are struggling. We all see it in our communities. Our Constitution provides a guarantee for a thorough and efficient, free public education. When we brought claims to ensure those objectives were fulfilled in Fayette County, we improved our school system. Our Attorney General must serve as the counsel to our people to ensure this critical objective. I'm Sam Petsong, and I approve this message.
Ever try to collect on an insurance claim? Perhaps a homeowner's claim, auto accident, or fire? Insurance companies collect money from you for protection should something bad happen. And when it does, they don't want to pay, or they offer too little. At Mansion Ferretti, we have an attorney who worked defending insurance companies and knows all the dirty tricks they play to deny or lowball your claim. Call us today for help in getting what you really deserve. Mansion Ferretti, when you need justice.
I am Lene Johnson, running for Jefferson County Commissioner. We all want our community to thrive through collaboration, inclusion, identifying common goals, and steering resources to where they are needed most. We can build a healthy environment and a more dynamic and productive economy for Jefferson County. It's important to reach constituents with factual, believable, and transparent information. When voters are informed, they act. When they act, we all win. Vote November the 3rd, Lene Johnson for Jefferson County Commissioner.
Paid for by candidate.
Looking to buy a home in the Eastern Panhandle? Having trouble getting your house sold? Then call Chris Ross and the Milestone Real Estate Group at Keller Williams. A Martinsburg High School graduate, Chris knows the local market, and he's proven it as the #1 real estate team in West Virginia in 2019. Milestone Real Estate Group at Keller Williams. Phone 304-579-7349 or go to callchrisross.com. Let's celebrate your real estate milestone together.
We all know what a good time looks like, but what is it made of? We can think of a few things. In this case, it's handcrafted food to gather around, an ever-changing variety of wine, and a Friday night. Do yourself a favor. Experience the good in a good time.
Hello, I'm Tom Hanson, retired lieutenant from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office and retired Master Sergeant from the West Virginia Air National Guard. I'm running for Sheriff of Jefferson County and the only candidate with over 20 years of certified West Virginia law enforcement experience. To find out more about me and what I stand for, visit my website, hansonforsheriff.net. Vote Hanson for Sheriff because experience counts. Paid for by Hanson for Sheriff.
And we welcome you back into the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. It's time to go in the end zone and talk to visiting head coach this week, Glenn Simpson. This portion of the pregame show is brought to you by the Marius Group and Ameriprise Financial Services. Call John Everson and Phil McCoy to set up an appointment at 304-263-4343 or stop by and see him at 1270 Winchester Avenue in Martinsburg. First of all, Coach, what did you see out of your team in a good win against Preston last week?
Well, I saw us execute very well. I saw improvement on our defense, especially stopping the run. And I saw the opportunity for a goal line stand that we were able to execute. I was very excited about that.
As you've gotten to this point of the season, obviously you start to pay attention to those playoff rankings, and something that you all haven't been able to experience this late in the season yet is the fact that right now, if the season were to end, you are in the playoffs. What are your thoughts about being at 16 right now?
Well, I think we're right where we want to be. We're in a position to have some success, to meet some of our goals, and we still got to play out the rest of the season and see what happens.
Berkeley County, your neighboring county, not able to play this week. How thankful are you guys to be able to have the season you've had so far and just total number of games and to be able to play this week?
Well, I've been telling you all year, it's been a blessing to be together with this football team, and any opportunity that we get to play is wonderful. You know, we've already played 7 more games than a lot of people have anticipated that we would be able to play. So every one that we get is just beautiful.
This week of practice been good for you guys? You still see the focus that you've seen all season long?
Best week of practice that we've had. Best week of practice. Hopefully it'll translate tomorrow night.
How much does that have to do with your opponent on Friday night? The Jefferson Cougars, obviously a cross-county rival, the only 2 schools in Jefferson County. How much does that fuel into this week's practice?
Well, it's big. When the word came down that our schedule had changed and we were able to get this game this week, that really got our players' attention. That this was, this week is now, not 2 weeks in the future. So very excited to get this going.
What do you see in the Jefferson Cougars this year? I know you've told me off, Mike, you look at it as a Michigan-Ohio State kind of rivalry. What do you see in them this year?
They're explosive. They will put some points up. They can absolutely spin the ball. They can spin the ball. They're very athletic, very talented. They're big on the outside. They're going to present some real challenges for us defensively.
When you look at who you've played so far this season, can you take anything away from any other team this year that may play a similar style to them?
Not really. Not really. They are unique in what they do. They're very good at what they do. Their record does not indicate that, but I promise you, I see some explosiveness on that film, and they have our full attention. There's no doubt about it.
One thing that may be a little bit different this week is playing surface. Obviously, you guys are a turf field. A lot of schools around the Mountain State have gone to that artificial turf. Does playing on grass affect you guys at all? I mean, I know you have a practice field that's grass behind us, but does game-wise that affect you guys at all?
Not at all. Not at all. It doesn't concern us in the least. It would matter maybe if we were the spread team in this, but we're going to line up and we're going to play smash mouth football. So what's under our feet doesn't matter.
Washington Patriot head coach Glenn Simpson, part of the pregame show. This portion of the pregame show brought to you by the Marius Group and Ameriprise Financial. Call John Everson and Phil McCoy at 304-263-4343 to set up an appointment at 1270 Winchester Avenue in Martinsburg. Back with more of the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show next. This is West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
Remember when you were a little kid and saw your first deer?
Oh, how cute.
As an adult, maybe you've had a different experience.
Where'd that come from?
Bambi mess up your dream machine? Call Cody's Auto Body today at 304-901-4777 and get the work done right the first time. Cody's Auto Body, 851 Wilston Street in Martinsburg, has a team of auto body professionals with a lifetime of experience putting your ride back together again, regardless of how it got that way. Cody's Auto Body.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
Vote for Greg Lance as the next sheriff of Jefferson County. Greg is a lifelong resident and an experienced leader with proven results. Greg is a Shepherd graduate studying business and accounting, giving him the knowledge needed to oversee the collection of taxes as your sheriff. He was a 4-term mayor of Ranson, oversaw a $6 million budget, served as president of the County Commission Association, and led the way in the 80s to secure a $750,000 block grant for the new Jefferson Memorial Hospital. Leadership, experience, results. Greg Lance. Paid for by candidate.
Energy is something you never really think about, even though you use it every day. With Roach Energy's no run-out guarantee and 24-hour customer support, that's just the way we like it. So when you think about it, call Roach Energy for all your oil and propane needs. Ask about our pre-buy and budget programs. Roach Energy, 304-262-4271.
John Purdue never dreamed he'd go to college, let alone become one of the best state treasurers. John Purdue brought back financial integrity and transparency to the treasurer's office. He created the highly successful Smart 529 College Savings Program, and under his watch has returned more than $230 million in unclaimed property. He's created the 457 Retirement Program and WV Able, and his Board of Treasury Investments has the highest rating from Standard & Poor's.
I'm John Purdue, and I've never forgotten that I worked for you.
Hi, I'm Elliot Simon, and I'm your candidate for delegate in the 67th District. During these uncertain times, the safety of our community is first and foremost as we work to get our economy back on track. I will take a common-sense approach to government to make sure that West Virginia Strong isn't just a slogan. West Virginia is up and coming. Let's keep it going. I'm Elliot Simon, and I'm asking for your vote.
Paid for by Simon for Delegate Mark Furman, Treasurer.
And we welcome you back into the pregame show, brought to you on TV 10 by the Skinner Law Firm, Injury and Consumer Rights Lawyers. Phone 304-245-6613. Matt, it's now time to take a look at the home team for this evening's matchup, the Jefferson Cougars. They come in with a 2-4 record, and we mentioned it earlier. This is a code red from here on out. They need to win if they want a shot at getting into the playoffs this season.
Yeah, absolutely. And their season has been so mixed up by all of the COVID color map and how that has played out. Go back to the beginning of the year, and they end up playing Musselman in Week 1 when that was not supposed to be their Week 1 matchup. Then in Week 2, when they should have played Musselman, they get Greenbrier East to come to town after the loss against Musselman, arguably one of the top AAA teams in the Mountain State this year. They scored that 42-23 win against Greenbrier East, and at 1-1 you went, let's see what happens against what we know is a pretty good Spring Mills team. Well, it didn't go their way. Again, defensively, gave up too many big plays to that athletic offense of Spring Mills and lost 52-28 after a bye week in which they had a chance to maybe get a game in there, and Coach Craig Hunter said, look, we need to heal up. We need a little time off. They took that break and came out and played very well against a good Frankfort team, but in that fourth quarter couldn't hold on as they lost 28-19. Then that 14-13 win at University, and we thought, okay, they've turned that corner, and last week put up 44 points on the road at Kaiser, but that second half really got away from them. That was a close game. Jefferson had the lead.
20-18 at the half in that one.
Low scoring, if you will, at the half. And, 63-44 was the final. So, it's a team that if they can come out here tonight and put all phases together, they've got every opportunity to win this game.
Absolutely. And we talked about the quarterback for Washington and Frankie Amore and how he is going to use his feet. You look at the flip side for Jefferson, Sammy Roberts. He's going to be able to light it up through the air. He's got those weapons on the outside. We saw him in warm-ups. He's got a very good right arm to throw the football, and he's going to lead this Cougar team offensively. Yeah,
you'll hear from him in just a little bit here on our pregame show, but he's thrown for 1,400 yards, 14 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and he's put it in the air 238 times over the course of 6 games. Coach Hunter, you'll hear from him later on as well, saying, look, some of those are run-pass options, and if the defense is going to take away that run, he's got the ability to pull it out and try to make something happen through the passing game, and he's got a whole handful of wide receivers that he can get that football to. And so we're looking at 2 contrasting styles in this one.
Kickoff just about a half hour away here at Cougar Stadium. Another break to take. On the flip side of this break, we will hear from Craig Hunter, the head coach of the Jefferson Cougars, followed by a look at a couple of players from each of these teams coming up next in the pregame. This is West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
Erie Insurance says here's to the grown-ups who move, mortgage, mow, and still bust a move. But does your home insurance still fit? Erie helps you protect the home you've grown into, all at fair prices that are often less than the other guys. So how do you find the right coverage? Magic. Nope. Local independent agents who get to know you like this.
Your local Erie agent in Martinsburg is Smallwood & Small Insurance. Get a quote at smallwoodandsmall.com.
Erie Insurance.
Like a successful football team, when it comes to choosing an effective representative in Charleston, experience matters. First elected in 2012, Delegate Paul Espinosa is the experienced, fiscally conservative voice Jefferson County needs, standing up for the issues we care about. In this crucial election year, when residents of the 66th District cast their vote for House of Delegates, the choice is clear. Re-elect Paul Espinosa. Paid for by Espinosa for Delegate, Mary C. Espinosa, Treasurer.
Summer seems even brighter when you've been inside a while. It's time to drive again with Honda, KBB.com's 2020 Best Value brand. You could get a great deal on the 2020 Accord or 2020 Civic with financing as low as 1.9% APR on select models. Visit the Honda Summer Clearance event today.
Miller Honda, south of Winchester, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. www.mymillerhonda.com.
For well-qualified buyers, see dealer for financing details based on 2020 brand image from Kelly Blue, but visit kbb.com for more information.
Steve Stollifer is running for Jefferson County Commissioner in the Cabletown District. He is a lifelong resident of Jefferson County and has a track record of dedication to his community, his family, and his career. His goals as your county commissioner are to promote agriculture, support small businesses, influence a safe and prosperous community, and facilitate conservative budgets with focus on maintaining critical services. Vote Steve Stollifer for Jefferson County Commissioner. Paid for by candidate.
WVU Medicine Surgery is pleased to announce the addition of several new general surgeons to our expert team, offering a full range of minimally invasive laparoscopic and robotic surgeries and procedures. With 8 surgeons in Martinsburg, Granson, and Spring Mills, WVU Medicine Surgery provides revolutionary treatments, quicker recovery, and better outcomes. For more information or to schedule a consultation, visit wvumedicine.org/physicians and select specialty care.
Orsini's, not just an appliance store anymore. They're your one-stop resource for all home needs, whether it's custom kitchen design, countertops, or cabinets, or check out their new sleep studio with Tempur-Pedic, Sealy, and Stearns & Foster. For all of your outdoor living needs, Orsini's has Gladiator Garage Works, Traeger grills, barbecue accessories, barbecue rubs and sauces, and every flavor wood pellets. Visit their brand new 8,200 square foot showroom at 360 Hack Wilson Way, 304-267-7251, Orsinis.com.
We welcome you back to the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. We come your way from just outside of Cougar Stadium. It's time for us to talk with Craig Hunter, head coach of the Jefferson Cougars, and our conversation brought to you by Parsons Ford. They're on, Shepherdstown Road, just East Moeller Avenue extended, if you will. They became number one by making you number one first, Parsons. Coach, talk to us a little bit about last week, a high-scoring affair, but didn't quite go the way you wanted.
gave me a little deja vu of the last time we were in Kaiser. Pretty high-scoring affair, taking the lead at halftime, coming back out, losing 2 onside kicks to them, and then the game just kind of turning their way and the momentum going their way after that point. That's pretty much how it went 2 years ago. But, there were some things we did well. There's some things that we didn't do well, like I've talked about before, paying attention to detail, making sure we pay close attention to detail. It's pretty much essentially 3 plays that really crushed us, that we just didn't pay attention to detail on those plays. And hopefully we'll get that stuff corrected this week against Washington.
Talk a little bit about your offense and the way that it is coming around to put 44 points up last week.
Well, it's, I guess people think that we throw the ball a lot. We technically, sometimes they're not really throw plays. They're actually run plays that we have reads on that, we have a quarterback that can read the system and does a good job of doing that. And I've talked about before, our goal this year was to try to push the ball down the field a little bit more with the receivers we have and hit, I guess we call them second level balls, which are like 15 yards to 20-yard balls. More explosive plays. When you have those more explosive plays between 15 and 20 yards, there's more chances that you'll get an opportunity to score instead of dinking and dunking down the field 5 and 6 yards down the field, because then you have to have 10 to 15 play drives, and we all know what can happen in a 10-play drive in high school. You get behind the sticks, penalties with things that nature, turnovers and fumbles. So, that's what we've been able to do, and it's worked for us so far this year.
Take us to the defensive side of the football. At times you've given up some points. At other times, hey, a 14-13 win up at University. What's been the challenge on that side of the ball?
I think it's just, we kind of changed the scheme up this year a little bit. We've had some people in some different places that we moved around in the middle of the season that has shown us that we can stop people. Mm-hmm. And then, like I said, I think it's sometimes just the attention to detail on certain things, especially on the back end. Just paying attention to detail. When you're playing misdirection offenses, keeping your eyes out the backfield, and sometimes we haven't been able to do that in the misdirection offense, like the wing T offenses.
And that's something you're about to face, that single wing offense. What is that challenge against what Washington brings your way?
Just the same thing. It's just we just got to read our keys, get after them, make sure we're flowing to the ball correctly. Don't leave too soon, because you're not going to know where the ball is, and the secondary has to stay home and read their keys and read pass and not jump up and think it's run, because what they're going to do is try to lull us to sleep and set us up for a big pass play. So, we just got to get that and make sure we line up correctly against that, that unbalanced line. Make sure we get lined up correctly. So we're going to work on all that today.
Hey, they've given up some points as well, though, so I'm sure you're seeing some things that hopefully you can take advantage of with your strong offense.
Yeah, we've seen some things that we can take advantage of. We're going to work on that this week. Hopefully it'll transpire into some points for us on Friday night.
Final question. Take us into this rivalry just a little bit. There have been 12 meetings so far, and you guys have that 7-5 edge. It has really been a close rivalry.
Yeah, I think when the school first opened, I'm not sure how much it was a rivalry, but I think as the kids that were going to schools together and working in the county, living in the county together, playing midget leagues and little leagues together, they grew together and kind of developed that rivalry together after going to schools together, and everything else is pretty much becoming to a bitter rivalry over the years. So hopefully, these guys can go out here and try to keep it and get it to 8-5.
Coach Hunter, we wish you well. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
There you go, Coach Craig Hunter of the Jefferson Cougars joining us here in our W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. Our conversation brought to you by Parsons Ford. They're on Shepherdstown Road just outside Martinsburg. They became number one by making you number one first. Parsons. We've got more of the pregame show after this. It's West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10. All right. Stop it, and that way we get a whole.
Let's keep West Virginia moving in the right direction. Let's keep Patricia Rucker in the state Senate. State Senator Patricia Rucker kept her promise to fight for West Virginia values.
I'm Patricia Rucker, and I'm asking for your vote for state Senate.
As the state Senate Education Chair, Patricia Rucker led the charge to improve our schools. State Senator Patricia Rucker, promises made, promises kept.
I am Patricia Rucker, and I am proud to vote for our schools, our families, and our future.
The Palace Lounge in Martinsburg offers hand-cut, locally sourced steaks, fresh seafood, and sandwiches with great daily specials like 75-cent wings all day Monday, prime rib on Tuesday, New York strip on Wednesday, and chef specials every Friday and Saturday. Ask for the lunch punch card and have lunch on the Palace Lounge on Edwin Miller Boulevard. And don't forget the Big Apple Lounge on Sater Drive in Inwood.
When you do the same thing for 135 years, you learn to do it well. For 135 years, we've been helping families through the hardest times of their lives. That's because we're a family as well. When your family loses a loved one, we're here to help. We're Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown, Ranson. We're here when you need us.
Hello, my name is Tricia Jackson, and I am a candidate for Jefferson County Commission. I'm running to be a voice for the residents and a defender of their hard-earned money. I am fiscally conservative and will work to ensure county government operates within its means. I will work to find resources that improve public safety and support our first responders. I will work to create and implement programs that help small businesses grow while creating good-paying local jobs. I am asking you to vote for me, Tricia Jackson, Jefferson County Commission, paid for by the Committee to Elect Jackson for Jefferson County.
We've been in a slow-moving educational crisis in West Virginia. Our schools are crumbling, our teachers are struggling. We all see it in our communities. Our Constitution provides a guarantee for a thorough and efficient, free public education. When we brought claims to ensure those objectives were fulfilled in Fayette County, we improved our school system. Our Attorney General must serve as the counsel to our people to ensure this critical objective. I'm Sam Petsong, and I approve this message.
I'm Storm Shiley Frame, and I'm running to serve the 66th District in the West Virginia House of Delegates. Homegrown in Jefferson County, wife, mother, teacher, and realtor, I understand what the 66th District needs. Investment for safer roads, dependable broadband internet, quality public education, and common sense legislation to attract responsible businesses and protect our natural resources. My opponent, Paul Espinosa, seems to think his job is to protect corporations instead of the interests of the people he represents. I'm Storm Shiley Frame. I can't be bought, and as your delegate, I will work for you.
And we welcome you back into the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. It's time to go in the huddle. We're talking with senior offensive and defensive lineman Fleetwood White. This portion of the pregame show is brought to you by Panhandle Dumpsters. Give them a call to get your yellow trash can. Call them at 833-DUMP-STR. First of all, Fleetwood, at this point in the season, you guys are 4-3. How do you feel the season has gone so far?
We're pretty confident in what we're doing so far. It's better than last year, and we have a better built team, and we're definitely playing better than we usually are, and we're getting better as we are programming into the season.
You're an offensive lineman, and part of that single wing offense, a big part of that is that offensive line. How do you feel like you and your fellow linemen have adjusted and really gotten comfortable in that single wing this year?
We are still adjusting to it, and we're getting better at every single game, every single play to get to these wins and games.
You're a defensive lineman as well. How do you like that defensive side of the football?
It's tough sometimes, since we're moving a lot of the time, but we're also getting used to it with our new coach, Coach Eddie, who's an amazing coach, and getting us to be an amazing football team.
All right, the big question. If you had to pick one, you playing offensive line or defensive line?
Defensive line.
You like to hit guys more than you like to get in the backfield?
Yes, I do.
All right, 4-3 at this point in the season. You guys are in a position that you haven't been in yet at Washington High School in the playoff hunt late in a season. And right now, if the season were to end today, you would be in the playoffs as a number 16 seed. How does it make you feel hearing that this late in the season?
It's honestly shocking from where we came from like 4 years ago and where we are now. It's amazing that we've grown from there to now.
There are kids around the entire state that would be thankful to get in half the amount of games you all have gotten in this year. How thankful are you to have had the full schedule that you all have had this year?
We are very thankful we get to play these at least 8 games and hopefully two more after this, because we are trying to get the record as best as we can.
Jefferson on the schedule Friday night. What do you see in the Cougars this year that make them so dynamic offensively and defensively?
Mainly passing a lot. Defensively, we have no scare. We're prepared for anything that comes our way. But offensively, we're looking for a lot of pass and pass protection.
You guys rivals being the only 2 high schools in Jefferson County. How much does that add to the excitement of this week of practice and this week's game?
A lot of it. We are very excited to play, and we've always have been every single year, especially this year now. because we know that we have a chance to beat them, not like last year.
Fleetwood, appreciate the time, and good luck Friday night.
Thank you.
Fleetwood White, offensive and defensive lineman, senior here at Washington High School. We now send it to Shenandoah Junction. Matt Miller has Sammy Roberts.
Thanks, Matt. We are here just outside of Cougar Stadium with a chance to talk to Jefferson Cougar quarterback Sammy Roberts. Sammy, give us an idea of what it's like playing quarterback in your offensive system.
I really like playing quarterback for this team. You know, we throw the ball a good amount of times, and it's really good to make reads throughout the spread offense, and it's nice.
You talk about making those reads. That seems like it puts a little extra pressure, if you will, on your shoulders. Do you like that?
I do like pressure. I feel like I can compete well under pressure. I've done that in the past with my other sports, and I really like being under pressure when playing football too.
How have you seen this offense progressing and developing throughout the year?
I mean, as you saw against Kaiser, we put up a good amount of points. I mean, we've had good games and bad games, and I feel like our only really bad game was against Frankfurt, when we didn't really throw that well as a team, but it's definitely getting better points-wise.
How much does that ground game help you in what you guys like to do passing the football?
It takes people out of the box, which by taking people out of the box, you know, it gives us a better run game, and then once we start running the ball a little bit more, it puts them in the box, and then it just opens up the passing game. So it just flips it right around.
Is football your favorite sport?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like baseball as well. I mean, they're both very fun sports, but I mean, it's been tough picking. It really has. I mean, I love playing for Coach Lowry. He's a great coach as well, and Coach Hunter. So it's going to be hard to pick which sport I would like to play.
Not getting that chance to play baseball last spring, how much does this football season mean to you to be able to be out here?
It means a lot. I was working a lot over the quarantine of throwing football a lot, and I also played baseball a lot this summer as well. I mean, I went down to Georgia a few times to play there, and I mean, it's great playing both. I like it.
All right, talk to us about this matchup. The Washington Patriots, a rivalry showdown. What do you see in this game?
I see two pretty good teams in the county. Obviously, they're a pretty good team. I mean, we cannot underestimate them at all. I mean, they've played very good this year. I got a lot of respect for their team and their coach as well. So,
Sammy, thank you for a little bit of your time. Good luck in this one.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
There you go. Jefferson Cougar quarterback Sammy Roberts. He's joining us here in the huddle. Our segment brought to you by Panhandle Dumpsters. Get one of those yellow trash cans by phoning 833-DUMP-STIR. That's 833-DUMP-STR. We've got more of the pregame show coming up, brought to you by W. Harley Miller Systems. This is West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
Our dad taught us a lot about the law, but he taught us even more about life and people.
He taught us to treat clients like family. At the Skinner Law Firm, the firm our father started here in the Eastern Panhandle, we still believe that.
We also believe that everyone has the right to be protected from those who don't play by the rules.
We believe it's about helping people. Call us at the Skinner Law Firm, where we treat you like family.
In Morgantown, Mac Warner admits he has a slumlord reputation.
Here at the Capitol, on his first day, he illegally fired 16 people, costing the state $4 million. But there's more. He allows a full-time employee to work on state time as a radio host here. But there's more. He admits taxpayers are paying thousands of dollars a month on his one-stop shop, even though he says the phone and computer lines don't work right. Seriously, it's time to end his fraud, waste, and abuse. I'm Natalie Tennant, and I'd appreciate your vote.
I am Lene Johnson, running for Jefferson County Commissioner. We all want our community to thrive through collaboration, inclusion, identifying common goals, and steering resources to where they are needed most. We can build a healthy environment and a more dynamic and productive economy for Jefferson County. It's important to reach constituents with factual, believable, and transparent information. When voters are informed, they act. When they act, we all win. Vote November the 3rd, Lene Johnson for Jefferson County Commissioner.
Paid for by candidate.
My name is Marshall Wilson. I'm the only independent serving in the West Virginia legislature, and I'm running for governor to uphold and defend the Constitution of the state of West Virginia and of the United States, because I want my children to raise their children in a free, just, prosperous, and secure land. If my children have that opportunity, yours will also. Look us up at marshallforwv.com. Please vote S. Marshall Wilson for governor. Thank you very much.
Write in S. Marshall Wilson for governor. Paid for by Marshall for WV.
Brought to you on TV 10 by Republican Mac Warner, seeking re-election as the West Virginia Secretary of State. Well, it's time to take a look at the keys to the game. And the key to your next West Virginia governor is S. Marshall Wilson, independently running for West Virginia governor. Write in S. Marshall Wilson on November 3rd. Mr. Miller, keys in this one.
I look at both defenses as being keys. Washington cannot give up those big plays, particularly in that Jefferson passing game. They have to be able to tackle. They have to be able to stay on their assignments in that secondary, and they'll need to get a little bit of pressure on Sammy Roberts and not let him get comfortable back there throwing the football. On the other side, Jefferson has to read their keys. We heard from head coach Craig Hunter just a few minutes ago in his pregame interview. They've had some trouble with those misdirection teams, which is exactly what they saw from Kaiser last week. And in this single wing, there is a whole lot of misdirection. And so this Jefferson defense has to make sure they read their keys well and not get confused. Otherwise, this Patriots team could have some big plays as well.
There it is, your keys to the game, brought to you by your next West Virginia governor, S. Marshall Wilson, independently running for West Virginia governor. Write in S. Marshall Wilson on November 3rd. Well, that is going to wrap up our pregame show, brought to you by W. Harley Miller Systems, providing custom integration services for home and office automation, home theater, networking, audio, video distribution, and more. Phone them at 304-350-1931 or visit them online at WHMsystems.com. One more break to take, and then we are back for the starting lineups and kickoff for this one. It's Washington at Jefferson. This is West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
Remember that last trip to the auto mechanic?
I also think your solenoid gasket is bad.
What?
Yep, that'll be another $500.
Forget that and go to D&N Auto Specialist at 230 Tavern Road, Martinsburg, where honesty is their best policy. Serving the Eastern Panhandle since 1974, D&N Auto is family-owned and operated, specializing in exhaust alignments and tires. From general maintenance to major overhauls, they'll treat you right. Call D&N Auto Specialist at 304-267-4078.
Let's talk trash, because when it comes to trash, you have options. Panhandle Dumpsters is a local family-owned garbage hauling company serving both residential and commercial customers with weekly trash pickup, dumpster service, yard waste pickup, and bulk pickups too. Panhandle Dumpsters will give you a free trash can and provide curbside service for just $23 a month. Panhandle Dumpsters features a fleet of quieter, eco-friendly garbage trucks, thereby reducing the noise usually associated with pickup. Switch now and save up to 30%. Call 833-DUMP-STR, panhandledumpsters.com.
And that concludes today's pregame show.
We play every play like it's the most important play of the game.
Let's go. Coming up next, it's the starting lineups, opening kick, and play-by-play action of West Virginia high school football. Today's game is being brought to you by
Kent Parsons Ford of Martinsburg, the Skinner Law Firm, Smallwood and Small Insurance, Mac Warner for West Virginia Secretary of State, Patricia Rucker for West Virginia State Senate, Paul Espinosa for the West Virginia House of Delegates, Elliot Simon for the West Virginia House of Delegates, Wayne Clark for the West Virginia House of Delegates, Steve Stollifer for the Jefferson County Commission, Tom Hansen for Jefferson County Sheriff, Lene Johnson for the Jefferson County Commission, Storm Shiley Frame for the West Virginia House of Delegates, John Doyle for the West Virginia House of Delegates, Natalie Tennant for West Virginia Secretary of State, John Perdue for West Virginia Treasurer, Sam Petzonk for West Virginia Attorney General, the Palace Lounge Bar and Grill, and the Berkeley County Health Department.
And now, let's go back to the field and rejoin our Talk Radio WRNR broadcast team.
We welcome you back into Cougar Stadium. We are just moments away from kickoff, but right now it's time to take a look at the starting lineups in tonight's contest. They are brought to you by DNN Auto Specialists. If your vehicle is not starting properly, then start at DNN Auto to get it fixed right the first time. Family owned and operated since 1974. Call 304-267-4078. Matt, the lineups tonight look like what?
Well, for Jefferson, we are not sure. Did not get an official starting lineup going into this one for the Jefferson Cougars, but for the visiting Washington Patriots, we know that Ethan Pesce and Fleetwood White will be tackles, while Zach Wharton and Adam Sharp are guards. Jaden McCartney is the starting center. Frankie Amore gets the start at quarterback. Joining him in the backfield is Tommy Wogan, and really either one of those two guys could take the snap at any given time. Colton Childress will be the starting tailback along with Joseph Vrobel. The wide receiver is Tyler Meisenzahl, and today's starting tight end is Jimmy Williams. Defensively, Fleetwood White, along with Ethan Pesce, Adam Sharp, and Stephen Pritt are along that defensive front line. Linebackers are Colton Childress and Jimmy Williams, and in the defensive backfield, it is Austin Sharp, along with Joseph Vrobel, Tommy Wogan, Frankie Amore, and Bryson Fleming. All right, we did just get handed a Jefferson starting lineup, and it looks like at tight end will be Kason Lanza. At wide receiver, Isaiah Fritz. Starting running back is Evan Toole, and the quarterback is Sammy Roberts. Another wide receiver is John Gidney, and yet a third wide receiver, Spencer Powell. Along the front line is Brady Chrisman, Davis Cummings, Joe Sands, Joey Slaughter, and Jake Muth. And that is a look at your offensive starters for Jefferson.
Starting lineups, a service of DNN Auto Specialists, where honesty is their best policy. Specializing in exhaust, alignments, and tires, call DNN Auto Specialists at 304-267-4078. Looks like Jefferson did win the coin toss but did defer to the second half. So Washington will start with the football.
We do have game officials as well, Matt. Our head referee is Joseph Cox, with Jeffrey Dodd, the umpire, William Hardy, the line judge. The head linesman is David Aird, back judge Martin Smith, and Brian Costello is the side judge.
Our officials brought to you tonight by Lene Johnson, candidate for Jefferson County Commission. Jefferson will be kicking off from left to right. Back to receive for Washington. Looks like a number 5, which is tonight is Bryson Fleming. 46 is the number on the kicker for Jefferson.
Actually 45.
45. Nathaniel Mule, as he approaches, sends one a low line drive, bouncing at the 20-yard line. Up comes Bryson Fleming, up to the 20-yard line, a blocker out in front, but nowhere to go. Gets wrapped up at the 21, maybe the 22. That is where Washington will start with the football. Our opening kickoff brought to you by CASA. Visit them for more information at CASA of the Eastern Panhandle, mycasaep.com.
Good coverage that time by Jefferson on that kick downfield. They used the sideline to their advantage. Overwhelmed just one blocker that was there in front of Fleming on that return, and he got what he could out to the 21.
Washington in the white uniforms tonight, red pants, the red helmets that have added stickers since the last time we saw them. We'll tell you that as the game goes on. It is the all-maroon tonight for the Jefferson Cougars. Shotgun formation. Frankie Amore takes a snap. There's the handoff going to the outside and breaking to the outside, breaking a couple of tackles, room out in front, getting across the 25 up to the 26-yard line. With that carry, a number 14, Joseph Vrobel, taking that one. A good gain on first down.
Yeah, nice job as they brought him in motion out of a tight wing or slot position to the left side, moved him to the right, handed him the football, and he had enough speed to turn that corner and pick up 5, maybe 6.
They gave him 6, second down and 4, upcoming ball placed on the far side hash at the 27-yard line. Again, it's Amore with the back to his right in the shotgun formation, one wing to the far side. Amore gets that straight snap. He takes it off that right side, breaking a couple of tackles and stumbling forward. He's got a first down. Washington near the 35-yard line. They'll mark him down to the 34, first down Patriots.
So 7 yards on that gain, and a nice job by that offensive front line, the right side of that line, and you see the patience of Frankie Amore in that offense, letting those blocks set up and then picking up what he could.
Wogan coming in the ball game now. That's Frankie Amore coming back in that huddle, giving the play from head coach Glenn Simpson. Amore has the wing back to this near side as that ball stayed on that far hash for the last couple of plays. There's a snap. That is Amore with it, looking to pass, nowhere to go. Will duck it, gets across the 35, stumbling forward up to the 39-yard line. Would look like a little bit of a broken play, and Amore turns into a gain.
How about 6 yards on each of their first 3 carries, as it was a 6-yard gain on the very first play for Vrobel, the 6-yard gain to pick up the first down from Amore, and now this one a 6-yard gain. A lot of Jefferson players there, but almost over pursued and gave him that little cutback lane where he slipped through and picked up those 6.
Now brings up a 2nd down and 4 ball at the 39-yard line. Looks like Fleming in the backfield right now. That tall body is number 5. There is that snap, comes to this near side, and that is Fleming. Gets the first down, is pushed out of bounds just before midfield, or make that a number 2. That's Tommy Wogan taking that carry as he gets across midfield into Cougar territory. And a good first drive for the Patriots, taking some time off of the clock and wearing down that Jefferson defense.
Well, and as you said, it was a case where they brought in Bryson Fleming and let him be the lead blocker. And you've got a little more size in Tommy Wogan at 5'11", 194. Then you get Fleming out in front of him at 6', 175. And they were able to seal the corner and turn to the sideline on this near
and
side.
Make that just before midfield. Ball now at the 48-yard line. Looks like Wogan again in the backfield. Fleming is to his left. A couple of wings to each side. It's Childers. There's a snap to Wogan. He's got blockers out in front. Does cross midfield this time and gets tripped up just before getting to the 45-yard line. He'll be stopped at the 47. Another gain in a positive direction. It's been nothing but positive plays so far for Washington out of this single wing offense.
Absolutely. 6 yards, 6 yards, 6 yards, 9 yards. That one a gain for 5 to set up a 2nd and 5, and Washington has come out running the ball well.
And right now it's been those guys up front just leading the way for this Patriot offense. 2nd down and 5. Wing back to this near side, ball on the far hash. Frankie Amore takes a snap. He's going to go right up the middle. Gets inside the 45 before he is stopped, and that's the shortest gain that Washington's had so far. But Frankie Amore able to get a few on that one, a gain of 2, maybe 3. That ball now will be snapped in the first 3rd down of this game. That ball at the 44-yard line in Cougar territory.
Well, now's the chance for this Jefferson defense to make a stop and perhaps get off the field, although I wouldn't be surprised if Washington would go for it in this situation.
Logan looks like he's going to take this snap, and he will. He's going to try that far side. Blockers out in front, and now breaks through the secondary and tripped up, saving a touchdown in the secondary, looking for a number.
It's Roger Forshee, I believe, number 10.
That's what I was thinking. It was a 10 as well, and saving was going to be a touchdown Washington. Good run for Tommy Wogan, and another first down Patriots.
Yeah, and again, good blocking off that right side of the line to open up that hole.
There's the snap. It is to Frankie Amore. Hesitates right now. He'll come back to this near side. He's inside the 25 to the 20. Can he beat the last man of the pylon? He will. It's a Washington Patriot touchdown. Frankie Amore takes it in from 26 yards out.
Well, there you go. That's the opening drive that this Washington Patriots team was looking for, and not what Craig Hunter and the Jefferson coaching staff was looking for, as this defense just could not make a stop.
A little over 3 minutes taken off the clock in that opening drive. And every play moving in the right direction for Washington. Extra point upcoming is some substitution issues right now for the Patriots.
Frankie Amore with his 17th rushing touchdown on this season.
They do have the right personnel on now, but running out of time on that play clock. Now down to 5, 4, 3. Glenn Simpson going to have to use a timeout. 1 second left. They do get the snap off. Amore on for the extra point. That one is up and good. With 8:42 remaining in the first quarters, Washington 7, Jefferson 0. We're back in 60 seconds.
Hi, I'm Elliot Simon, and I'm your candidate for delegate in the 67th District. During these uncertain times, the safety of our community is first and foremost, as we work to get our economy back on track. I will take a common-sense approach to government to make sure that West Virginia Strong isn't just a slogan. West Virginia is up and coming. Let's keep it going. I'm Elliot Simon, and I'm asking for your vote.
Paid for by Simon for Delegate Mark Furman, Treasurer.
Like a successful football team, when it comes to choosing an effective representative in Charleston, experience matters. First elected in 2012, Delegate Paul Espinosa is the experienced, fiscally conservative voice Jefferson County needs, standing up for the issues we care about. In this crucial election year, when residents of the 66th District cast their vote for House of Delegates, the choice is clear. Re-elect Paul Espinosa. Paid for by Espinosa for Delegate, Mary C. Espinosa.
42 remaining in quarter number one. It was an opening drive touchdown for the Patriots as they're set to kick it off, see what Jefferson can do in their first offensive possession.
Well, that drive went 8 plays, 79 yards, 3 minutes and 12 seconds. Frankie Amore, the 26-yard touchdown run to give Washington the lead.
That ball, a short kick, hitting an up man. And waiting to see who came up with that football. It looks like a number 4 for Washington came up with it. Our officials are getting together as to whether there was a Washington player that touched that before 10 yards.
Oh, absolutely. It was
and
the
Coach
kicker.
Craig Hunter is on the field going, hey, that ball didn't get there.
Well, and you've got the front line for Jefferson that could see that contact and really didn't go hard after that football. The reason it was recovered by Washington. But, yeah, it was the kicker who was just trying to tap it and then be the one to go get it. And he ran up on that ball so quick it took a hop right up and hit him.
That was Frankie Amore trying for the old Pat McAfee trick back in the day.
Drive summary brought to you, by the way, by Paul Espinosa.
An experienced, fiscally conservative voice for the 66th District. Shotgun formation to start. Expect to see that an awful lot today between these two teams. Two receivers to the far side, one to this near side. Roberts in the shotgun formation, handoff right at the middle. Good gain up to the 45-yard line before Evan Toole has stood up. Gain of about 3 on first down. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 7.
Well, there you go. Jefferson likes to run the football. They want to establish that run, and then off of that run, they can run some of that read option and get Sammy Roberts, their quarterback, going.
Same formation, 2 receivers to that far side, 1 to this near side. Roberts going to drop back to pass, looking to this near side. Will dump it off to Toole just out of the backfield, and it goes off of his fingertips. Incomplete pass. It's Colton Childers who was the closest in coverage, and Toole just could not come in with that football. 2nd down, or make that 3rd down. Upcoming now for the Cougars.
They got just a tiny bit too much on it out of the hand of Roberts, but tried to loft it right up over the shoulder of Toole, and a little bit of a tough catch looking back up over his head.
3rd down and 7, ball at the 45-yard line. Jefferson is in Washington Patriot territory. 2 receivers to each side of the formation. 1 back behind Sammy Roberts. Roberts going to take that snap, rolling to this near side, looking upfield at about the 35. That one, did it hit the ground? No, incomplete pass in and out of the hands, and good defense by, again, Colton Childers. 2nd time we've called his name, and the intended receiver still down. That was a 23. Spencer Powell was that intended receiver. Hit him in the chest, just could not haul it in.
Yeah, that was Joseph Vrobel, 14, that was over there defensively and helping to defend on that play and make sure that that was an incompletion. A little wobble on that pass. Didn't get there quite as sharp as, you know, Sammy Roberts would have liked for it, too.
That'll bring on the punt team for Jefferson. And a quick 3 and out. It is 45, Nathaniel Mule, who is on to punt the football away. He stands at the 44-yard line. There's that snap. And a high spiraling kick. It looks like it'll carry the return man into the end zone, and it will. It'll be a touchback, bringing it out to the 20-yard line. That is where offensive possession number 2 will start for the Washington Patriots.
So the punt covers 45, but the net only 25 as the ball comes out to that 20-yard line, 25-yard line, I should say. Meanwhile, or no, it is the 20. I'm thinking of the college game.
And the NFL
meanwhile,
now,
I'm telling Bryson Fleming, though, get back from that football and don't let it be that
don't
close
let it hit
to
you
as
with
it's
the
bouncing.
One.
That's it.
Yep. That's one of those you usually hear the word Peter yelled and get away from the football. Washington breaks that huddle. 20-yard line is where the football will be snapped. It's the Patriots with the 7-0 lead, and Matt Jefferson not taking a whole lot of time off that clock that last possession. The snap to Frankie Amore. He's going to take it himself, bouncing it to this near side. Gets across the 25 before being pushed out at the 27. May give him the 28, and another positive gain for the Washington offense.
Yeah, Matt, I think they're going to give him the 29-yard line, and that was a pretty nice stiff arm to at least hold off the defender. Trying to get to him was Christian Blau, a junior, 5'8", 154 pounds. He got there, but just could not bring him down. Eventually rode him out of bounds after the 9-yard gain.
And right now, Washington having success when they can bounce it to the outside, the interior line, for Jefferson, doing a good job of bottling that up. but Washington has been able to bounce plays to the outside. There's the direct snap to Wogan. Started to go to the outside before he cuts it back up the middle. That'll be enough for a first down as he's across the 30-yard line up to the 33. And, boy, a whole host of maroon helmets for the Jefferson Cougars having to bring down Tommy Wogan. First down, Washington.
Yeah, it became a rugby scrum there at the end as just a huge pile of young humanity trying to see who could push each the other direction.
A whole pile of young humanity. That's a unique one, Matt.
Thank you very much. I'll be here all night.
He's got away with words, folks. Ball in between the hash marks right now, 33-yard line. Blocking back and wing to the far side of the formation. The direct snap goes to Frankie Amore. He's going to take it himself as blocker out in front. That was Colton Childers up to the 35-yard line before being taken down. And they are going to give him forward progress to the 36. So a gain of about 3 on first down. Second up and 7 upcoming.
A better job that time as Jefferson able to string that play out. Never really gave him that cutback lane. He eventually had to just find a hole and get what he could. And now it's a second and long. And this becomes a key defensive play. Let's see if Jefferson can get this Washington team into a third down and long. They faced only 1/3 in that opening drive, and it was a third down and only 2, and they easily converted.
And, Matt, have you noticed something so far? Not a whole lot of handoffs for Washington. It's pretty much been whoever gets the snap is going to take the football. Verbal coming in motion. That snap to the quarterback of the formation looked like a number 5. Was that Bryson Fleming taking the snap? First time we've seen him run the football, and he takes it himself after the fake give, and he gains quite a few nearing that first down marker. He's up to the 37-yard line. That'll bring up a third down and short for the Patriots.
Yeah, gain of about 6. There was that spinner play as you had the young man in the wing position going in motion. That was Joseph Vrobel, and just as he gets there and the snap comes back, the quarterback does that spin where you're wondering, did he give it off or not? And nope, he keeps it.
Snap goes to Tommy Wogan from the 42-yard line, barrels his way in between the numbers and the hash, and he's got enough as he crosses the 45-yard line up to the 46. It's a first down, Washington.
And they are working quickly, getting to that football after the 4-yard gain.
Very quickly. There's the quick snap, a low snap, but brought in very quickly and just getting back to the line of scrimmage was the ball carrier. Looking to see who carried that football. Was it 2 and Tommy Wogan?
No, that was
or make that a 5. That Bryson Fleming.
Yeah.
Gain of 1, maybe 2. Maybe we'll give him 1.5 on that carry up to the 48-yard line. Another second down and long. Now you talked about it being a key play. Another one on a second down and long if they can stuff Washington again.
So far, this Washington offensive line has been able to control that line of scrimmage and give their backs some holes.
There's the handoff to Bryson Fleming out of the backfield. He's across midfield and breaks a couple of tackles. He's in the open field inside the 30 to the 25, the 20, 15, 10, 5. Bryson Fleming into the end zone. It's another Washington Patriot touchdown.
Wow, 52 yards, and it looked like they had him bottled up after about maybe an 8 to 10-yard gain, and somehow he broke through that hole or that big pile of people, found a little hole, and then once he got into the secondary, no one was going to catch him.
2 possessions, 2 touchdowns so far for Washington. 13-0, our score, 5:05 remaining in quarter number 1. Extra point coming up here for the Patriots, as it'll be Amore trying to send it through the uprights.
Did you notice that one was a handoff this time as opposed to the direct snap?
There's the snap, the hold, the kick is up, and that one is through. Frank Amore sends the extra point through. 14-0, your score, 5:05 remaining in quarter number 1. The Patriots have the lead over Jefferson. We're back in 60 seconds.
Looking to buy a home in the Eastern Panhandle? Having trouble getting your house sold? Then call Chris Ross and the Milestone Real Estate Group at Keller Williams. A Martinsburg High School graduate, Chris knows the local market, and he's proven it as the #1 real estate team in West Virginia in 2019. Milestone Real Estate Group at Keller Williams. Phone 304-579-7349 or go to callchrisross.com. Let's celebrate your real estate milestone together.
Erie Insurance says here's to the grown-ups who move, mortgage, mow, and still bust a move. But does your home insurance still fit? Erie helps you protect the home you've grown into, all at fair prices that are often less than the other guys. So how do you find the right coverage? Magic. Nope. Local independent agents who get to know you like this.
Your local Erie agent in Martinsburg is Smallwood & Small Insurance. Get a quote at smallwoodandsmall.com.
Erie Insurance.
Stadium, it's all the visiting Patriots right now, 14-0 over Jefferson. 5:05 remaining in quarter number one. Frankie Amore on for the kickoff. It's a pooch kick, bounces in between the 25 and the 30. Return man gets it at the 25, coming across the 25 to the 30. Blockers out in front across the 35 to the 40. Tripped up at the 45-yard line before being brought down on the return. Looked like a 16. That is a Keyshawn Robinson on the return, just a freshman.
I was going to say, you like that. 5'10", 155, knew what to do with the football once he picked it up. He got to the near sideline, got some blockers, and had a little cutback lane at the end, but stumbled, still got out to that 46. That's a great return. Hey, that drive summary for Washington, 7 plays, 80 yards, 2 minutes and 50 seconds, 52 yards on the TD run for Bryson Fleming.
That brought to you by Paul Espinoza, that scoring drive summary. Re-elect him in the 66th district. Man in motion, Sammy Roberts with that handoff. That's Toole getting it, and he lowers his shoulder and fights to the 50-yard line before he is stood up by a host of Patriot tacklers. A gain of 4 on first down, and Matt, Jefferson's had good field position in both of their first 2 offensive drives. See if they can capitalize on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. They started actually in Washington territory with their first possession at the 48. This one they're at their own 46. Last time they went 3 and out. Got to get a first down here.
Pair of receivers to each side of the formation. One now comes in motion. It's getting. There's that handoff to Toole again. He's inside Washington Patriot territory. Lowers his shoulder again and fights forward to the 45-yard line. A yard short of the yard to gain. It'll bring up a third down and short. Matt, you'd imagine this is 4-down territory, so 2 opportunities to get a yard.
Yeah, and you hope they get it right here. No need to go to the 4 downs if you would get in that situation. And the way that Toole has run the football on these last 2 carries, I'm imagining he's going to get it back again.
Yeah, a blocker to the left side of the formation. There's the snap to Roberts. Toole getting it. A good hole right up the middle, and that's a first down. Jefferson inside the 40-yard line, stopped at the 39. They even gave him the 38. It looks like that's where our official is standing. First down, Jefferson.
7 yards on that game. That's 19 on 4 carries so far in the early going for Toole. And nice job of that offensive front line attacking right at the heart of that defense for Washington.
3 down linemen for the Patriots and some movement along that defensive line. Looked like a hard count by quarterback Sammy Roberts, and that's going to be a neutral zone infraction on the defensive side of the football for Washington. Move that football 5 yards closer, bringing up a first down and 5.
Our first penalty in this ball game, and it goes against that Washington defense.
Not bad, 9 minutes in. 3:31 on a running first quarter clock here in Shenandoah Junction. The football at the 33-yard line. Roberts in the shotgun formation. Again, gives it to Toole out of the handoff. Good room out in front. Cuts back to the inside of the field. He's inside the 10 to the 5. It's a Jefferson Cougar touchdown. 33 yards on the touchdown run for Evan Toole.
Well, there you go. That's the way to answer. And what a great run for Toole, and a great way to use the umpire as an extra blocker as he started to cut left and then cut right around that umpire, and that ended up helping to shield off a Washington defender.
And Matt, you mentioned in the pregame, Craig Hunter wants to run the football and doing so at a pretty good clip so far, especially on that touchdown drive. They're going to go for 2 here, empty backfield. 5 receivers in the formation. Roberts drops back to pass quickly, going to this near side, and it's a 2-point conversion good, as that looks like it is a number 8 on the reception. It's Isaiah Fritz. 14-8. Jefferson gets their first score of the game. 3:15 remaining in quarter number 1. We are back in 60 seconds.
I'm Storm Shiley Frame, and I'm running to serve the 66th District in the West Virginia House of Delegates. Homegrown in Jefferson County, wife, mother, teacher, and realtor, I understand what the 66th District needs. Investment for safer roads, dependable broadband internet, quality public education, and common sense legislation to attract responsible businesses and protect our natural resources. My opponent, Paul Espinoza, seems to think his job is to protect corporations instead of the interests of the people he represents. I'm Storm Shiley Frame. I can't be bought, and as your delegate, I will work for you.
Pete Doherty will put Berkeley and Jefferson County first in the state Senate. Doherty has spent 4 decades fighting for our children, seniors, and veterans while keeping the Eastern Panhandle safe from crime. As your senator, Doherty will fight back against the Charleston establishment, ensure that police have the funding needed to protect our communities, repair our crumbling infrastructure and high-speed internet, and be a champion for public education. On November 3rd, let's tell Charleston there's a new sheriff in town. Vote Pete Doherty for state.
It's a short kickoff as we are back. It was a pooch kick to about the 48-yard line. The up man, I believe that was Vrobel on that reception, if you want to call it that. And the Patriots going to have good starting field position on their third offensive drive. It'll start at the 43-yard line. Matt, that last scoring drive.
For Jefferson, 4 plays, 54 yards in a minute and 41 seconds, 33 yards on the touchdown run for Evan Toole, his 4th rushing touchdown of the year.
That scoring drive summary brought to you by Delegate Paul Espinoza. Re-elect him in the 66th district. 2 for 2 on drive so far, finding the end zone for Washington. The snap goes to Amore. A little bit of movement up front, and they're going to lose about 5 anyway. Getting in the backfield quick was that Jefferson defense, and taking that handoff looks like a 30-40, and it was Adele McCray. And he gets bottled up quickly, and I guess the football doesn't lock. It certainly looked like movement up front early for Washington, but a loss of more than 5. It'll bring up a 2nd down and long. That football all the way back to the 36-yard line.
Yeah, that ends up being a loss of about 7 yards. And, again, it seemed like clearly the back moved in the backfield, but the offensive line really never moved much either. I mean, that play had disaster all over it.
Snap goes to Frankie Amore off that right side. He'll gain a couple on that across the 40-yard line to the 41. Gain of 5. And that brings up a 3rd down and long now for Washington. Their longest 3rd down of the game so far. Only the 2nd 3rd down they faced.
Actually, the 3rd, they're 2 for 2, converting on a 3rd and 2 and a 3rd and 1. But, yeah, this is, as you said, by far the longest that they have faced.
And not the 3rd down distance you want if you're on the single wing offense. 3rd down and 12. Ball on the far hash mark, 41-yard line.
They've thrown it only 33 times this year.
They give this to McCray, who is coming in motion. Blockers out in front, but more tacklers there for Jefferson. Quickly getting in the backfield. Nathaniel Mule was the first one there. Bottled up, and McCray's going, hey, where are all the blockers that I saw those first 2 possessions?
Wow, that's all the way back to the 36 -5, so that's 2 carries -12 yards in that possession for Adele McCray, as he just didn't get much blocking help on either one of those attempts.
It'll bring on the punt team for the first time today for Washington.
And there you go, a defensive stop by Jefferson, just what they needed. Their offense gained some momentum, getting the touchdown and the 2-point conversion to get within 14-8. Now the defense makes a big stop.
Frankie Amore back to punt for the Patriots. There is that snap alone. He's got to go down and get it. A little bit of a rugby-style kick. He's rolling to the right. Now does get it off, an end-over-end kick. Bouncing at the 32-yard line. Return man going to get away from that football as it takes a friendly roll for Washington inside the 20 down to the 18-yard line. That is where Jefferson will start with the football. This first quarter brought to you by Natalie Tennant, Democratic candidate for West Virginia Secretary of State.
46 yards on that punt with no return. So Frankie Amore does his job to at least turn the table when it comes to field position.
58 seconds left in quarter number 1. The visiting Washington Patriots hold a 6-point lead, 14-8. Ball at the 18-yard line, shotgun formation, 2 receivers each side of the formation. Bit of a hard count for Roberts. Now he looks to the sideline to adjust the play. Toole is to his right, and he will get the handoff. Going off that far side hash, blockers out in front, gets up to the 25-yard line before he is stopped, and a good gain on 1st down for Jefferson. Bring up a 2nd down at about 4.
5 consecutive running plays now for Evan Toole, as he carried in all 4 plays on the last scoring drive and starts this one with a 7-yard gain.
2nd and 3 upcoming. Ball at the 25-yard line. Roberts again smacks those hands together before looking to the sideline. Looks like they're going to stick with the original play call. Toole to his left. There's the shotgun snap, the handoff to Toole. He'll go right up the middle, gets to the 30-yard line. That'll be enough for a Jefferson Cougar 1st down before being brought down.
Yeah, very heads-up running as he was moving to his right and then quickly cut back to his left to be able to pick up an extra yard or 2 before being dragged down on the play. I believe that was a 6-7 Fleetwood Whites.
Fleetwood White was in on that tackle. Jefferson hurrying to the line. Looking to the sideline, and the clock now at 5 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Will Jefferson get a snap off? They will, just as the clock expires. Sammy Roberts dropping back. He's going deep up this sideline, and that one out of the reach and well over the head of the intended receiver. That was John Gidney. Well, through the first quarter here in Shenandoah Junction, and right now Jefferson has the football, but Washington has the lead 14-8. A 90-second break back at the studio, 1.5 minutes, then we are back for quarter number 2. This is West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
I'm John Doyle. I'm running for re-election to the House of Delegates. In Charleston, I have fought hard for good public schools, better health care, and clean drinking water for the people of Jefferson County. And if I'm re-elected, I'll continue to do that. If you want government that is open and transparent, vote for John Doyle. If you want government that is responsible and responsive, vote for John Doyle. And if you want government that is accessible and accountable, vote for John Doyle. I'm John Doyle, and I approve this message.
Hello, I'm Tom Hanson, retired lieutenant from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office and retired Master Sergeant from the West Virginia Air National Guard. I'm running for Sheriff of Jefferson County and the only candidate with over 20 years of certified West Virginia law enforcement experience. To find out more about me and what I stand for, visit my website, hansonforsheriff.net. Vote Hanson for Sheriff because experience counts. Paid for by Hanson for Sheriff.
I had to pack up all my things. I had to leave my home. And I never knew where I was going next. It felt like I never even had a say. But then you came along.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
To change a child's story, go to mycasaep.org.
Welcome back into Cougar Stadium. Start of quarter number 2. Jefferson with the football. Washington has the lead, and a false start on the first play of the second quarter. It looked like the slot man, Isaiah Fritz, not on the same page with the rest of the offense. Bring up a second down and 15 for the Cougars before a second comes off the clock.
First penalty against Jefferson. Matt, in that opening quarter, Jefferson 64 yards and a touchdown. They also punted with 2 possessions, the middle of their third possession. Right now, Washington 152 yards and 2 scores.
Snap goes back to Roberts. He's rolling to that far side, going up, and that pass incomplete at the 35-yard line. Intended receiver looking for a number. Looks like that's a 13.
It might be Gidney.
I believe that is a 13. John Gidney was the intended receiver.
Yeah, didn't from my angle get the number of who was there defensively, but I mean that was definitely very well defended, and it's been a tough start for Sammy Roberts now, 0 for 4.
Third down and 15, third and long for Jefferson. 2 receivers each side of the formation. Roberts in that shotgun formation. 4 down lineman for Washington. Roberts going to take that snap again, rolling to that Washington side of the football field. He's got Gidney at the 44-yard line. That pass can make that the 34-yard line. That pass complete, but well short of the marker to gain for the first down, and on will come the punt team for Jefferson.
Yeah, Gidney trying to put the brakes on over along that sideline as he caught it going out of bounds, thinking maybe if he could keep his feet under him, he could turn upfield and pick up a few more yards, but just not the case.
Mule on to punt that football away. One return man back for Washington. Man coming in motion in this punt team. Now 2 flankers on that far side. Mule gets that snap, sends a high end-over-end kick as it bounces at the 26-yard line. The return man gets it at the 25. He will start in motion. That's Bryson Fleming. He's across the 40 to the 45 to the 50, across midfield. Nobody out in front of him. 25-20, 15-10, 5. A punt return touchdown covering roughly 77 yards, but a flag down at midfield, and it looks like this one is coming back, taking a touchdown off the board for Washington.
Wow, I wondered when that ball hit the ground and took the bounce why Fleming was not up there trying to catch that one in the air. He had plenty of room out in front of him as he took it on that bounce and then started upfield. Looked like he was going to go all the way, but apparently that lane that opened up to give him that far sideline may have come as a result of a hold or a block in the back.
Yeah, done so illegally. Still waiting on the word from our official whether it was a block in the back or a hold. A meeting of the minds at midfield right now.
Costly mistake.
And that may be a case of figuring out where that penalty occurred in the course of the run. Looks like our official going to give us a signal. And it was a hold on Washington.
Hold on, that one's declined.
A personal foul.
Crackback block.
That one will be accepted.
So that's a loss of 15 yards.
And we'll see where they say that penalty came in, as they're going to put that football at the 34-yard line. So that penalty occurring right at about that 49-yard line, just about where that penalty flag was thrown at midfield.
So
First
now,
and
yep, from their own 34. By the way, 2 penalties, 20 yards on Washington.
First and 10 for Washington. First drive of this second quarter. One wingback comes in motion. That's Frobel. Fake handoff going right at the middle. That's Tommy Wogan cutting back to this near side and can't get out of the arms of a defender at the 37-yard line. Good wrap up by number 6, Christian Blau.
Yeah. If he doesn't get a hold of that ankle, that play could have gone a long way.
Second down and 5 coming up for the Patriots. Again, blocker to this near side in that single wing. It's Frobel. As that wing back, he comes in motion. Fake spin is Bryson Fleming going to take it himself right up the middle. He's across the 45-yard line to the 46. That's a first down, Washington.
Yeah, gain of 7, and one more time they go back to that what you call spinner play, where they bring that man in motion. As the snap goes back, the quarterback spins completely around, gives his back to the defense, so they have no idea where the football was. Did he give it off or did he keep it? And so far tonight, he's kept it and picked up some good yards.
And that means a lot of faith in your offensive line. Hey,
yes.
I'm going to look the opposite way. When I turn around, there better not be somebody in my face. That ball snapped to quarterback Frankie Amore, but a penalty flag thrown. And that is going to be in a legal substitution as a player coming off as that football being snapped. So a 5-yard penalty, it'll bring up first down and 5. That football moved across midfield, now at the 49 in Jefferson territory.
Couple of penalties for 10 yards now in this first half on Jefferson. Washington right now doesn't need help the way this offense has been going. 2 of their 3 possessions, they've marched it right down the field and scored.
Snap goes to Frankie Amore. He will go right up the middle, nearing the yard to gain, but looks like still a yard short based on forward progress. Second down and 1, maybe a long one, almost 2. Coming up here for the Patriots. Good strong run for quarterback Frankie Amore, and they will move that football back. It will be second down and 2 coming up. That ball at the 46-yard line.
Good job again by the left side of that offensive line, creating that opening.
Power formation right here. 2 blockers out in front. That snap going to Tommy Wogan off the left side. He's got his blockers out in front, and he follows them all the way to a first down, nearing that 40-yard line. Stopped at the 42, but that's enough for a Patriot first down.
Now they keep moving that football and running time off that clock. I've got them at 9 first-half first downs with this gain of just about 4 yards.
Right now, Washington doing a very good job, like you just said, of taking time off the clock.
5th play of this possession. They've had an 8-play drive, a 7-play drive. Then they went 3 and out last time they had it, and now they're up to the 5th play of this possession.
First down and 10. Again, a power formation. That snap going to Bryson Fleming off the left side. He's inside the 35, all the way down to the 30-yard line before he is wrapped up, and that's good enough for a Patriot first down.
And there they go again with another good job by the left side of the line, being able to create running opportunities.
And a timeout taken by Coach Craig Hunter. Jefferson looking a little gas on that defensive side of the football. We'll take the 60-second break as well. Back with 8:32 remaining in quarter. Number 2, it is Washington 14, Jefferson 8. We're back in 60 seconds.
Our dad taught us a lot about the law, but he taught us even more about life and people. He taught us to treat clients like family. At the Skinner Law Firm, the firm our father started here in the Eastern Panhandle, we still believe that.
We also believe that everyone has the right to be protected from those who don't play by the rules.
We believe it's about helping people. Call us at the Skinner Law Firm, where we treat you like family.
In Morgantown, Mac Warner admits he has a slumlord reputation.
Here at the Capitol, on his first day, he illegally fired 16 people, costing the state $4 million. But there's more. He allows a full-time employee to work on state time as a radio host here. But there's more. He admits taxpayers are paying thousands of dollars a month on his one-stop shop, even though he says the phone and computer lines don't work right. Seriously, it's time to end his fraud, waste, and abuse. I'm Natalie Tennant, and I'd appreciate your vote.
Welcome back into Cougar Stadium out of a timeout taken by Jefferson. Still 2 remaining here in the first half. Washington with all 3 of theirs. First down coming from the 29-yard line. Washington well into Jefferson territory. Quickly to that line. Amore is by himself in the backfield, takes that snap, coming to the near side. He's got blockers out in front, going to try to bounce it back. He cuts inside to the hash marks, bottled up very quickly, a short gain, and on that tackle, Christian Blau once again.
Yeah, that was a lot of BYOB, be your own blocker. Not a lot of help out there. Get outside of the tackles and go see what you could get, and he did a nice job to gain a couple. All right, 1.
Second down and a long 9, or a more short 9. Give him about 1.5 yards on that gain coming up. Ball at the 38. Again, it's Amore with Logan to his left. Little hesitation and bottled up immediately. Nowhere to go for Frankie Amore, and hitting him right as he started to take off. Nathaniel Mule wrapped him up, and that's a loss of 1. Going back to the original line of scrimmage. 3rd down and 10 coming up for Washington.
And again, another play, Matt, that looked almost busted.
Yeah.
You know, Wogan, as he kind of went in the flat or headed towards the flat to his left, seemed like he slipped just a little bit. Amore kind of froze there for a moment. That play clearly did not develop the way that they wanted to, and in part because Nathaniel Mule came charging in there to make the play. 6'3", 246. Good size for that junior linebacker.
Amore and Fleming are the 2 backs in this one. Little spin move. Amore going to drop back to pass, going deep down this near side, overthrowing the intended receiver. That was a 4-0. Jimmy Williams was that intended receiver. Matt, it never looked like he really thought that ball was coming his direction.
No, not at all. He was the tight end, and he was pretty well defended. Had that sideline there as well, as that pass ultimately ended up floating out of bounds.
Ball at the 29-yard line. You'd expect this is an area of the field that you probably just should go for it.
Yeah.
A punt doesn't get you a whole lot. Too far for a field goal. So it's going to be a 4th down and 10. We've seen this year for Frankie Moore. Maybe a little pooch kick trying to get it inside the 20-yard line. Moore with the back to his left. He takes a snap, going to roll to the left. He's going to pass it, going down that far sideline. That one caught at the 10-yard line and rushing into the end zone. And believe that was Was that a 19 or a 13?
No, I believe that is an 18. Tyler
Meisenzahl, the lone receiver in the starting lineup. And that football thrown perfectly over top of the corner by Frankie Amore. And it's a 29-yard touchdown pass from Frankie Amore to Tyler Meisenzahl on 4th down and 10. And for Amore, that is his 3rd passing touchdown of this season.
Yeah, and for Meisenzahl, that'll be his first touchdown catch. It looked like whoever the defensive back was kind of working towards that sideline mistimed his jump just a little bit as he undercut that when it went right over his fingertips, and Meisenzahl hauled it in.
Amore going to hold on this extra point. It is Griffin Price who will send it through the upright. 6:56 remaining in quarter number 2, a 60-second break. We come back. Jefferson gets the football. Right now it's Washington 21, Jefferson 8. We're back in 60.
Vote for Greg Lance as the next sheriff of Jefferson County. Greg is a lifelong resident and an experienced leader with proven results. Greg is a Shepherd graduate studying business and accounting, giving him the knowledge needed to oversee the collection of taxes as your sheriff. He was a 4-term mayor of Ranson, oversaw a $6 million budget, served as president of the County Commission Association, and led the way in the 80s to secure a $750,000 block grant for the new Jefferson Memorial Hospital. Leadership, experience, results. Greg Lance. Paid for by candidate.
As a lifelong Jefferson County resident, Paul Espinosa has been a champion for the 66th District. First elected in 2012, Paul is the experienced, fiscally conservative voice Jefferson County needs, fighting for job creation, first-rate schools, expanded broadband, protecting our family farms, standing with our police, and right-sizing state government. When residents of the 66th District cast their vote for House of Delegates, the choice is clear. Re-elect Delegate Paul Espinosa. Paid for by Espinosa for Delegate Mary C. Espinosa, Treasurer.
Welcome back into Cougar Stadium. 6:56 remaining in quarter number 2. 21-8 is the lead for Washington on the road over Jefferson. Griffin Price on for the kickoff. 3 return men back for the Cougars. This one a short kick, just getting over midfield. It goes out of bounds at about the 48-yard line. I believe that's going to be where that football is spotted as Jefferson will get the football back, needing a touchdown to stay in this one before the half.
That'll be 3 penalties, 25 yards now on Washington, as they'll mark 5 yards from where that ball went out of bounds. That last Washington drive, Matt, 9 plays, 66 yards, 4 minutes off the clock, 29 yards on the TD pass. Amore to Meisenzahl. First TD catch for Meisenzahl, third TD pass for Amore. It came on a 4th down and 10, and Washington has now scored on 3 of their first 4 possessions.
Jefferson, for the second time in this ball game, starting in Washington territory. Field position has not been the issue so far for Jefferson's offense. Been a little more in execution. That snap goes to Sammy Rogers. Toole gets inside the 45-yard line before he is stuffed. Gets down to the 44 and a good run on first down. That'll be a gain of about 4. Brings up second down and 6.
I've got 68 yards on 8 carries so far for Evan Toole. They've had some success running the football.
2 receivers to each side of the formation, Roberts and Toole in that shotgun formation. Roberts going to take that shotgun snap going deep down that far side. He's got a man in single coverage, a leaping catch, but out of the hands of the intended receiver. That was Spencer Powell, who was in one-on-one coverage down that far side and just couldn't come up with that football.
Yeah, tremendous diving effort. Looked like he had it in his grasp. Don't know if the ground had kind of knocked that one away as he landed, but great effort on the other end of a very well-thrown ball from Sammy Roberts.
It's the first time we've really seen Roberts show that arm tonight. Everything else has been within about 10 yards, and you see that arm strength of Roberts. Once again, 2 receivers to each side of the formation. Toole gets that handoff on third down, lowers his shoulder, gets inside the 40-yard line, but looks like he's going to be about half a yard short of what he needs to gain. That'll be a 4th down and short, and you got to think Jefferson's offense staying on the field right here, Matt.
Austin Sharp got him by the ankle and prevented him from picking up that extra yard and getting the first down. And, yep, it will be 4th and a yard, and Jefferson looks like they'll go for it.
And it looks like the jumbo package coming in. 52, Jake Muth coming in as that extra blocker, a couple of extra blockers along that offensive line right now. Snap goes direct back to Toole, and he has enough for the first down as he followed those blockers inside the 40-yard line to the 42-yard line. First down, Jefferson.
Jefferson picking up just their 4th first down in this first half, and they get it on that 4th down and 1, and there you go, pulling the page out of the Washington playbook, direct snap to Toole and let him go.
Everybody's a blocker on that play. Find somebody and hit them. We're inside 5:30 before halftime here at Cougar Stadium. Roberts drops back to pass. He's going to go deep. He's got a man wide open at the 10-yard line, and that one caught. And will they mark him down at the 1? They will. Hauling that pass in, Isaiah Fritz, and stumbling as that ball just about a yard out in front of him, made the catch down by just the way he fell at the 1-yard line. And Jefferson going to hurry to the football and try to punch this one in. As Fritz was wide open, he had 5-6 steps on the closest defender.
We're going to get a timeout.
Timeout taken by Washington head coach Glenn Simpson. Let's go ahead and take the 30-second break back at the station. 30 seconds, then we're back at Jefferson football at the 1. We're back in 30 seconds.
Remember when you were a little kid and saw your first deer?
Oh, how cute.
As an adult, maybe you've had a different experience.
Where'd that come from?
Bambi mess up your dream machine? Call Cody's Auto Body today at 304-901-4777 and get the work done right the first time. Cody's Auto Body, 851 Wilston Street in Martinsburg, has a team of auto body professionals with a lifetime of experience putting your ride back together again, regardless of how it got that way. Cody's Auto Body.
5:10 remaining in the first half. Jefferson knocking on the doorstep at the 1-yard line. First and goal from the 1. Washington with the lead on the road, 21-8. Our second quarter brought to you by State Senator Patricia Rucker, running for re-election in Senate District 16.
A big 35-yard pass completion In the high school game, once you're on the ground, you are down. Cannot get back up and try to advance it, even though he was not touched on the play. Isaiah Fritz with a great grab, and Fritz has had a pretty good season, 37 catches, 626 yards, and 5 touchdowns coming in. He's one of a host of receivers for this team that has really stepped up.
Jumbo package again. Toole takes it right at the middle on the direct snap. Did he cross the goal line? Waiting for the signal, and they're going to say stuffed at the line. Washington needs 4 stops, just got one of them from the goal line.
Ethan Cockrell, 5'8", 174, listed as a defensive back. He was the one who hit him high and helped to stand him up and spin him around and keep him from getting in.
Same formation, jumbo package, just one receiver to this near side. Toole by himself. The direct snap going in right behind that center, and he crosses the goal line. It's a touchdown, Jefferson. Evan Toole 1 yard out following that offensive line, who just needed to gain about half a yard. And Toole able to lean forward, get that football over the goal line. And Jefferson back within a score with 4:41 remaining before the half.
Toole with his second touchdown run of this first half, his 5th of the season, and I think it was Nathaniel Mule who had as much of that run as Toole did, really kind of helping to shove him in off the left side of the line.
2-point conversion attempt once again for Jefferson. 5 receivers in the formation. Roberts dropping back to pass, going in the back corner of the end zone, and nobody there. Spencer Powell was the closest, but miscommunication on that pass. 21-14, Jefferson back within 7, 4:41 remaining in quarter number 2. We're back in 60 seconds.
I'm John Doyle. I'm running for re-election to the House of Delegates. In Charleston, I have fought hard for good public schools, better health care, and clean drinking water for the people of Jefferson County. And if I'm re-elected, I'll continue to do that. If you want government that is open and transparent, vote for John Doyle. If you want government that is responsible and responsive, vote for John Doyle. And if you want government that is accessible and accountable, vote for John Doyle. I'm John Doyle, and I approve this message.
In Morgantown, Mac Warner admits he has a slumlord reputation.
Here at the Capitol, on his first day, he illegally fired 16 people, costing the state $4 million. But there's more. He allows a full-time employee to work on state time as a radio host here. But there's more. He admits taxpayers are paying thousands of dollars a month on his one-stop shop, even though he says the phone and computer lines don't work right. Seriously, it's time to end his fraud, waste, and abuse. I'm Natalie Tennant, and I'd appreciate your votes.
Stadium, 21-14, the visiting Washington Patriots in the lead. The ensuing kickoff going back to Frank Amora. He gets it just inside the 20-yard line, going up the center of the field, gets to the 30 and nowhere to go. A couple of Jefferson Cougars right there to bottle him up at the 30-yard line.
It's a heck of a catch by Amore on a line drive end-over-end kick that was above his head, and he reached up and was able to grab it and still pick up some yardage on the return. The scoring drive for Jefferson, 7 plays, 48 yards, 2 minutes and 15 seconds, and it was a 1-yard touchdown plunge on 2nd and goal to go for Evan Toole to make it 21-14 as the 2-point conversion failed.
Scoring drive summary brought to you by Delegate Paul Espinoza, running for re-election in the 66th district. Timeout on the field. I believe that one taken by Jefferson, and it was with 4:34 remaining in quarter number 2. Wanted to make sure they had the right defensive formation in place. Well, Matt, Washington trying to snap a 2-game losing streak against Jefferson, and we talked about it in the pregame last year, had the win in their grasp and just couldn't come home with it. It was a Hail Mary at the end of the game, giving Jefferson the narrow 34-28 win.
Well, look at this first half right now. Washington has had 4 possessions. They have scored on 3 of those possessions, only been shut down once on a 3-and-out, and yet you look up at the scoreboard and it's 21-14. It's a 1-possession ball game. Jefferson's had 4 possessions. They've scored on 2 of their 4 possessions, and so, this is one of those games where Washington has to look up and say you can never have too many points.
Ball will be snapped in between the hash marks, the 30-yard line. Frankie Amore, the shotgun snap, takes it and gets bottled up 3 yards in the backfield. A host of tacklers there, but we've said it a couple times so far on this one. One of the first guys there, number 45, Nathaniel Mule.
Yeah, give Jelani Hollis Jr. some credit for being there as well. A whole host, as you said, of defenders who were hitting Amore for the 2-yard loss.
Gave him a generous spot on forward progress right there.
So 2nd down and 12, and now is when this Jefferson defense needs to make the stop. A 3-and-out here, give that offense the ball back.
Amore and Fleming in the backfield. Wing to this near side, little crisscross. Vrobel has with a blocker out in front. He's across the 30-yard line, bottled up and taken down at the 32-yard line.
It's a pretty good hit at the end of that.
In on that tackle. Matt, that may be a candidate for our Cody's Auto Body collision of the game. Good hit by Brady Chrisman.
Definitely thinking that very same thing. Still, that gain goes out to the 32, so a pickup of about 4 yards, but it's a 3rd and long, and that's not a place this Washington team really wants to be.
3rd down and 8. Coming up for Washington is Frankie Amore. Senior quarterback runs in from the sideline and gives that play as we near 10 seconds on that play clock. Patriots hurry to the line. A wide out is Meisenzahl to this near side. There's the snap to Amore. He tucks that football in that right arm. He's got blockers out in front across the 40-yard line. Cuts back to the inside, and he's got enough for a 1st down across the 45. Pushed out at the 47, and a 3rd and 8 moves the chains on the legs of Frankie Amore.
12th first down of this first half, and now 3 of 5 on 3rd down conversions. Jefferson so far in this first half just has not been able to get that big play to get off the field except for once.
1st and 10, ball on the near side hash at the 47-yard line. Some substitutions for Washington right now. Tommy Wogan coming in for Vrobel. And it looks like, staying at quarterback will be Frankie Amore. Meisenzahl, the lone receiver, to that far side. That snap going to go to Wogan, who is to the right of Frankie Amore, lowers that shoulder and stumbles forward across midfield. Will finally be called down at the 46-yard line in Jefferson territory, and a good 1st down run on a little bit of, I don't even want to say misdirection, but a little confusion on the snap. There is Jefferson going to have to keep their head on a swivel.
Oh, it certainly looked like he was expecting to be hit and go down at some point in that run. He
just
had that
leaning forward, bracing for impact.
Eventually, he kind of tackled himself as he came through the hole.
2nd down and 3, ball at the 46-yard line. There's the snap. This time it's going to be Frankie Amore. Cuts back to the middle, gains what he needs for a 1st down and a little bit more as he gets to the 40-yard line before being tackled. 1st down, Washington.
6 more yards on that one, 13 first downs, and I'm telling you, head coach Glenn Simpson and the Washington coaching staff couldn't be more pleased with what this offense is doing in this first half.
Tommy Wogan going to come in for Frankie Amore. So looks like he's going to be one of the 2 men in the backfield on this next snap. 2 minutes remaining before the half, and right now Washington in the driver's seat of this drive, running it to perfection the way they want to in the single wing. Looked like some movement early. No call. That snap in the backfield. And the runner getting up to the 35-yard line, looking to see who carried that football, and it was Bryson Fleming on the carry. Number 5 gets up to the 35. And, Matt, once again, looked like some early movement in the backfield.
Yeah, the back to the right side of technically the quarterback, Fleming, who took that snap, moving a little to his right. And I guess that parallel movement, not necessarily towards the line, so you could almost consider him going in motion.
Ball at the 34-yard line, 2nd down and 4 upcoming for the Patriots, and now under 1 minute and 20 seconds to play in the first half. Washington's got to be concerned about the clock. Amore looking to go to his left, nowhere to go, cuts it back up towards the middle, and he will be stuffed in the backfield. That is a 6'4" in on the tackle. Kyle Kuchar with the tackle for loss. And Glenn Simpson going to use his 2nd timeout with 1:06 remaining in the first half. Let's go ahead and take the 60-second break as well. Back with 1:06 remaining in the first half. It is Washington 21, Jefferson 14. We're back in a minute.
West Virginia is Trump country, and Mac Warner is working with President Trump to keep America great. Mac Warner cleaned up the Secretary of State's office and is fighting against election fraud. Pro-Trump, conservative, West Virginia Secretary of State Mac Warner.
Hi. I'm Elliot Simon, and I'm your candidate for delegate in the 67th District. During these uncertain times, the safety of our community is first and foremost as we work to get our economy back on track. I will take a common-sense approach to government to make sure that West Virginia Strong isn't just a slogan. West Virginia is up and coming. Let's keep it going. I'm Elliot Simon, and I'm asking for your vote.
Paid for by Simon for Delegate Mark Furman, Treasurer.
West Virginia is Trump country, and Mac Warner is working with President Trump to keep America great. Mac Warner cleaned up the Secretary of State's office and is fighting against election fraud. Pro-Trump, conservative, West Virginia Secretary of State Mac Warner.
Welcome back into Cougar Stadium. It'll be a 3rd down and 7 right now for Washington. Frankie Amore, the quarterback, takes that direct snap. Bryson Fleming, his leading blocker, along with Colton Childers on that far side. Cuts upfield at the numbers. Nowhere to go with that football. He is stopped at the 35-yard line. 4th down coming up for Washington. Good defensive stand for Jefferson.
Yeah, again, a nice job as they got some pursuit from the backside, so they never gave him a cutback lane. That defense just continued to ride that play over towards the sideline. They gave him the 2 that he lost on the prior play, but that was it.
Timeout taken by Craig Hunter with 40 seconds left, and I think he is pointing up at the scoreboard saying he wants a little more time put on that clock. We should be the last timeout for Jefferson. So when they get the football back, it is going to have to be a lot of plays to the outside of the field to try to stop that clock. Coming up at the half, we will have a scoring recap along with stats from the first half. We will also take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
What's going on in the EPAC?
We won't give you any scores from the EPAC, or we will. It'll just be the halftime score here because that's the only thing going on in the 3 Eastern Panhandle counties. Can't even give you a score on Berkeley Springs. They were orange on Saturday, so no game for the Indians tonight.
And we'll talk a little about the WVSS-AC computer ratings, tell you a little more about where we are in that COVID color map, and we'll at least talk about those Berkeley County teams. We're talking 3 teams in the top 10 in Berkeley County not in action tonight.
We'll also give you a heads up as to what is coming over the weekend on our talk radio WRNR airwaves. Some college football tomorrow, the Mountaineers in action against Texas Tech. And on Sunday, the Washington football team, it's Cowboy Week. We'll tell you about that coming up at the half. 4th down and 5. Washington's offense staying on the field. Frankie Amore dropping back to pass. He's going deep down this near side. Meisenzahl catches it, bobbles it, and now intercepted in the end zone by a cornerback. Meisenzahl bobbled it in the end zone, and that is number 6. Yeah, that's number 6. Christian Blau just able to corral in that bobbled football, and probably would have been better off just going down in the end zone. Decided to bring it out to the 2-yard line, and that is where he is stuffed with 28.2 seconds left, and it was a good throw for Frankie Amore. Meisenzahl almost able to haul it in, but just couldn't watch it all the way into his hands, and now a long field in front of Jefferson. They got to be careful they don't lose a couple of yards here and give a couple of points to Washington before we go into the half.
Yeah, you're definitely going to play this conservative. Give that football to Evan Toole. Let him get whatever he can, and be sure to get into that locker room down by just 7.
Toole moves from left to right of quarterback Sammy Roberts, who tries that hard count to maybe buy himself a couple of yards and a little more breathing room. Right now, Sammy Roberts about 3 yards into the end zone. Takes that snap. That gives the Toole right up the middle, lowers his shoulder, makes sure he's got a good wrap on that football. And will Glenn Simpson elect to use a timeout? Doesn't look like it. So it's all going to come down to whether Jefferson's going to run another play, and I wouldn't think they would. I wouldn't risk fumbling the football standing at the 1-yard line, but they will. That gives us the Toole. He will try to bounce it to the outside and nowhere to go. Stuffed just past that line of scrimmage, and the clock going to hit 0. We're through the first half here in Shenandoah Junction. A tight one. It is Washington 21, Jefferson of 14. The halftime show coming up. Again, stats, a recap of scoring, and a look at our out-of-town scoreboard. We go into the half with Washington leading Jefferson 21-14.
Pete Doherty will put Berkeley and Jefferson County first in the state Senate. Doherty has spent 4 decades fighting for our children, seniors, and veterans while keeping the Eastern Panhandle safe from crime. As your senator, Doherty will fight back against the Charleston establishment, ensure that police have the funding needed to protect our communities, repair our crumbling infrastructure and high-speed internet, and be a champion for public education. On November 3rd, let's tell Charleston there's a new sheriff in town. Vote Pete Doherty for state Senate.
Steve Stollifer is running for Jefferson County Commissioner in the Cabletown District. He is a lifelong resident of Jefferson County and has a track record of dedication to his community, his family, and his career. His goals as your county commissioner are to promote agriculture, support small businesses, influence a safe and prosperous community, and facilitate conservative budgets with focus on maintaining critical services. Vote Steve Stollifer for Jefferson County Commissioner. Paid for by candidate.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%. Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
Orsini's, not just an appliance store anymore. They're your one-stop resource for all home needs, whether it's custom kitchen design, countertops, or cabinets, or check out their new sleep studio with Tempur-Pedic, Sealy, and Stearns & Foster. For all of your outdoor living needs, Orsini's has Gladiator Garage Works, Traeger grills, barbecue accessories, barbecue rubs and sauces, and every flavor wood pellets. Visit their brand new 8,200 square foot showroom at 360 Hack Wilson Way, 304-267-7251, Orsinis.com. Vote for Greg Lance as the next sheriff of Jefferson County. Greg is a lifelong resident and an experienced leader with proven results. Greg is a Shepherd graduate studying business and accounting, giving him the knowledge needed to oversee the collection of taxes as your sheriff. He was a 4-term mayor of Ranson, oversaw a $6 million budget, served as president of the County Commission Association, and led the way in the 80s to secure a $750,000 block grant for the new Jefferson Memorial Hospital. Leadership, experience, results. Greg Lance. Paid for by candidate.
And we welcome you back into Cougar Stadium. We are at the half, and right now it is Washington with the lead on the road, 21-14 over Jefferson. Welcome into the halftime show, brought to you by Pete Doherty, Democratic candidate for Senate in the 16th Senate District. Vote Pete Doherty coming up on the November 3rd election. Well, Matt, it was a quick first 2 strikes for Washington, and you've seen a very good adjustment by that Cougar defense after those first 2 scores for the Patriots. Another touchdown added for Washington, but you've seen them start to slow down that single wing, which does take some getting used to and some adjustments to be made in game motion.
Well, you're looking at Washington having 5 possessions in the first half, putting points on the board on 3 of those possessions. They were forced to punt once on a 3-and-out, and on their last possession on the 4th down and 5 from the 35 of the Cougars through that interception. And what a great play by Christian Blau, staying with that one as it bounced around in and out of the hands of the receiver Tyler Meisenzahl off of his back at one point in time, and then eventually the pass picked off. So Washington has been stopped twice, and really that last time I think maybe time got in their way as much as anything, as they had to burn a couple of timeouts and were down to just the final moments of that first half.
Yeah, and again, you saw good adjustments made by both teams. You saw both offenses adjust as well, so a good job offensively and defensively for Washington Jefferson, and you'd expect nothing less after a tight game last year in a series that is only 2 games separating these 2 teams, 7-5 in the previous 12 meetings. It's a tight one at the half. Should be a very exciting second half of football. We're going to take a 2-minute timeout on the backside of this break. We will start to take a look at what else is going on around the Mountain State and take a look at what's not going on in the Eastern Panhandle. Also look at the playoff rankings as we are in Week 8 of the high school football season. It does feature a handful of teams from the Eastern Panhandle. After this 2-minute timeout, again at the half, it is Washington 21, Jefferson 14.
Let's keep West Virginia moving in the right direction. Let's keep Patricia Rucker in the state Senate. State Senator Patricia Rucker kept her promise to fight for West Virginia values.
I'm Patricia Rucker, and I'm asking for your vote for state Senate.
As the state Senate Education Chair, Patricia Rucker led the charge to improve our schools. State Senator Patricia Rucker, promises made, promises kept.
I am Patricia Rucker, and I am proud to vote for our schools, our families, and our future.
Erie Insurance says here's to the grown-ups who move, mortgage, mow, and still bust a move. But does your home insurance still fit? Erie helps you protect the home you've grown into, all at fair prices that are often less than the other guys. So how do you find the right coverage? Magic. Nope. Local independent agents who get to know you like this.
Your local Erie agent in Martinsburg is Smallwood & Small Insurance. Get a quote at smallwoodandsmall.com.
Erie Insurance.
Like a successful football team, when it comes to choosing an effective representative in Charleston, experience matters. First elected in 2012, Delegate Paul Espinosa is the experienced, fiscally conservative voice Jefferson County needs, standing up for the issues we care about. In this crucial election year, when residents of the 66th District cast their vote for House of Delegates, the choice is clear. Re-elect Paul Espinosa. Paid for by Espinosa for Delegate, Mary C. Espinosa, Treasurer.
Hello, my name is Tricia Jackson, and I am a candidate for Jefferson County Commission. I'm running to be a voice for the residents and a defender of their hard-earned money. I'm fiscally conservative and will work to ensure county government operates within its means. I will work to find resources that improve public safety and support our first responders. I will work to create and implement programs that help small businesses grow while creating good-paying local jobs. I am asking you to vote for me, Tricia Jackson, Jefferson County Commission, paid for by the Committee to Elect Jackson for Jefferson County.
21-14, Washington leading Jefferson. We welcome you back in to Cougar Stadium as right now the Jefferson Marching Band entertaining family on hand, as that is all that is allowed in the current color code map for Jefferson County. So family enjoying what is a very impressive Jefferson Marching Band on the field right in front of us right now. Our halftime show brought to you in part also by Storm Shiley Frame, Democrat candidate for West Virginia House of Delegates in District 66. Matt, let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. What else is going on around AAA? Because no other games around the Eastern Panhandle. Berkeley County was orange on Saturday at 5 o'clock, meaning Spring Mills, Martinsburg, Musselman, and Hedgesville all off tonight, and none of them really wanted to be off. And in Morgan County, Berkeley Springs is off, as Morgan County was also orange on Saturday at 5 p.m.
Let's start with that.
Let's do it.
Because you have to look at this, and the SSAC, I would hope, would look at this and consider that if the AAA playoffs were this week, Martinsburg, Musselman, and Spring Mills, who have won a combined 15 games while losing only 4, who are ranked 4th, that's Martinsburg, 5th, that's Musselman, and 9th, that's Spring Mills, in the AAA rankings, would not be allowed to play this week in the playoffs, and their seasons would be done. Martinsburg's chance to try to defend the last 4 state championships would be done based on this system the way that it is. 3 of your top 10 teams would not be there. I hope that that would put a little bit of a concern or scare, if you will, into the SSAC to say we have to look at this and see if we can't test players and make sure that we have our better teams or our best teams or our top teams in the playoff system. With that said, you see where they're ranked. And Washington right now at number 16. A win in this one goes a long way towards helping to push them up a little bit further and get them back into the playoffs for the first time since 2013. We will see what happens over the next couple of weeks. Right now tonight, Greenbrier East is leading AA and number 1 Sissonville 14-3. That was still in the first quarter, and that's the second game of the week for Sissonville, trying to get in as many games as they can. Same is true for South Charleston, who beat St. Albans earlier in the week on Monday, 56-7, and South Charleston a 6-0 lead over Huntington in the second quarter.
That came maybe a little bit closer than folks were expecting. Only 6-0. Huntington coming in at 2-4, not having the best of seasons.
Yeah, I was going to say, going through a rough spell. Spring Valley, who is 3-1, they've got a 14-0 lead over number 2 Bridgeport at the half. So that's a huge game, as Bridgeport right up there near the top of the AAA standings. Riverside and St. Albans will play tomorrow. Parkersburg with a 19-0 lead over John Marshall in the second quarter. Princeton is shutting out Lincoln County 34-0 in the second. It's a 7-0 Ripley lead at home against Shady Spring in the first. And Capital on Monday scored a victory 30-6 over Riverside. Morgantown leading Lindsley 20-7 in the second quarter. University on top of Preston 7-0 in the second quarter. And G-Dub, George Washington, and Beckley Woodrow Wilson, a couple of former presidents, are tied at 14 in the first quarter.
All right, that is your look at the out-of-town scoreboard, which for the first time this year is truly a out-of-town scoreboard. Again, nobody else in the Eastern Panhandle playing tonight. This is your only action. We hope you have enjoyed it so far. Washington with a 7-point lead at the half over Jefferson, 21-14. Let's go ahead and send it back to the studio, take another 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll take a look at stats from the first half as part of our halftime show. We're back in 2 minutes.
Looking to buy a home in the Eastern Panhandle? Having trouble getting your house sold? Then call Chris Ross and the Milestone Real Estate Group at Keller Williams. A Martinsburg High School graduate, Chris knows the local market, and he's proven it as the #1 real estate team in West Virginia in 2019. Milestone Real Estate Group at Keller Williams. Phone 304-579-7349 or go to callchrisross.com. Let's celebrate your real estate milestone together.
Our dad taught us a lot about the law, but he taught us even more about life and people. He taught us to treat clients like family. At the Skinner Law Firm, the firm our father started here in the Eastern Panhandle, we still believe that.
We also believe that everyone has the right to be protected from those who don't play by the rules.
We believe it's about helping people. Call us at the Skinner Law Firm, where we treat you like family.
Hi, I'm Elliot Simon, and I'm your candidate for delegate in the 67th District. During these uncertain times, the safety of our community is first and foremost as we work to get our economy back on track. I will take a common-sense approach to government to make sure that West Virginia Strong isn't just a slogan. West Virginia is up and coming. Let's keep it going. I'm Elliot Simon, and I'm asking for your vote.
Paid for by Simon for Delegate Mark Furman, Treasurer.
In Morgantown, Mac Warner admits he has a slumlord reputation. Here at the Capitol, on his first day, he illegally fired 16 people, costing the state $4 million. But there's more. He allows a full-time employee to work on state time as a radio host here. But there's more. He admits taxpayers are paying thousands of dollars a month on his one-stop shop, even though he says the phone and computer lines don't work right. Seriously, it's time to end his fraud, waste, and abuse. I'm Natalie Tennant, and I'd appreciate your vote.
Back at the half, it's Washington leading Jefferson 21-14. Just about 7:30 left before the second half kick. It's time to take a look at stats from the first half in this one. They're brought to you by Dobson and Associates PLLC, providing all of your back office needs, including accounting, payroll, and human resources. We want to be your back office. Call 304-264-0437 or stop by 217 West Burke Street in Martinsburg.
Well, let's start with the visitors from Washington. Matt, 36 plays in the first half, 248 total yards, 219 on the ground, and 29 through the air, a 29-yard touchdown pass, the lone completion in 3 attempts in the first half for Frankie Amore. As we look at the team totals, 5 possessions, 3 touchdowns, a punt, and 1 turnover on an interception. 13 Washington first downs, penalized 3 times for 25 yards. Frankly, a very cleanly played game in the first half for both of these teams. For Washington on third downs, 3 of 6, and on fourth down conversions, 1 of 2. As we continue to look now at some individual numbers, we mentioned Amore's passing numbers. His lone completion going to Tyler Meisenzahl for the 29-yard score. Running the football, 2 carries for 10 yards for Joseph Vrobel, 8 carries for 56 yards for Tommy Wogan, 6 carries, 85 yards for Bryson Fleming, and 15 carries for 80 yards for starting quarterback Frankie Amore. There was a touchdown run of 52 yards in the first half for Fleming and a 26-yard touchdown run for Amore. The other touchdown, as we mentioned, coming on that lone pass completion. Let's turn to the Jefferson Cougars. They ran just 21 plays offensively in that first half, so 15 fewer plays for the Jefferson offense. 124 yards, 80 rushing, and 44 passing. They had 6 first downs in the first half, penalized just twice for 10 yards out of 5 possessions. Jefferson with a couple of touchdowns, a couple of punts, and had the football as we went into the locker room at the half. The Cougars 1 of 4 on third down, but 1 for 1 on fourth down. Sammy Roberts, starting quarterback, 2 of 7 passing for 44 yards, a 35-yard pass completion to Isaiah Fritz, helping to set up a touchdown run for Evan Toole, and there was a pass completion for 9 yards to John Gidney. Running the football, 14 carries, 80 yards in the first half for Evan Toole, including a pair of touchdown runs, one from 33 yards out and one from 1 yard out. He has been very good in this first half for Jefferson. It has been a running football game, and Matt, I know that's not your style.
Oh, yeah, not at all. No, that's I'm enjoying the style in which this football game is being played. Again, I ran the double wing in high school, so this is my bread and butter right here, watching them run between the tackles. But it's been a good first half. Looking forward to a equally exciting second half. Our halftime stats brought to you by Dobson & Associates PLLC, providing accounting, payroll, bill pay, human resources, and IT services. We want to be your back office. Call 304-264-0437 or stop by 217 West Burke Street in Martinsburg. Another 2-minute break to take here in the halftime show. When we come back, we'll get Matt's keys to the second half in this one, and we will get you ready for kickoff. Again, at the half, it is the visiting Washington Patriots over the homestanding Jefferson Cougars 21-14. We're back in 2 minutes.
I'm John Doyle. I'm running for re-election to the House of Delegates. In Charleston, I have fought hard for good public schools, better health care, and clean drinking water for the people of Jefferson County. And if I'm re-elected, I'll continue to do that. If you want government that is open and transparent, vote for John Doyle. If you want government that is responsible and responsive, vote for John Doyle. And if you want government that is accessible and accountable, vote for John Doyle. I'm John Doyle, and I approve this message.
I'm Storm Shiley Frame, and I'm running to serve the 66th District in the West Virginia House of Delegates. Homegrown in Jefferson County, wife, mother, teacher, and realtor, I understand what the 66th District needs. Investment for safer roads, dependable broadband internet, quality public education, and common sense legislation to attract responsible businesses and protect our natural resources. My opponent, Paul Espinosa, seems to think his job is to protect corporations instead of the interests of the people he represents. I'm Storm Shiley Frame. I can't be bought, and as your delegate, I will work for you.
Former Charlestown City Council member Wayne Clark is running for the West Virginia 65th House of Delegates District. A local entrepreneur, Wayne Clark is best known as the owner and manager of Locust Hill Golf Course since 2014. He understands the importance of improving education, fighting the opioid crisis, and fostering small business and entrepreneurship. Find out more on his Facebook page at Clark for Delegate. Wayne Clark is looking for your support in the upcoming November 3rd general election. Paid for by candidate.
John Perdue never dreamed he'd go to college, let alone become one of the best state treasurers. John Perdue brought back financial integrity and transparency to the treasurer's office. He created the highly successful Smart 529 College Savings Program, and under his watch has returned more than $230 million in unclaimed property. He's created the 457 Retirement Program and WV Able, and his Board of Treasury Investments has the highest rating from Standard & Poor's.
I'm John Perdue, and I've never forgotten that I worked for you.
You need to keep your vehicle in good working order, but car and truck repairs can be very costly. Bears Repair in Martinsburg performs all kinds of auto repairs at prices most often well below their competition.
Down to South Carolina, where Rick Alderton is currently watching from the Sun and Sand down just outside of Myrtle Beach, and he wanted to tell his brother John he's doing a great job. I'm not sure how many times compliments are given between those two, but I'm sure John will take that one. Rick, thanks for tuning in as always. All right, Matt, before we get into a quick look at what is going on our radio airwaves this weekend, let's take a look at what you think keys to the game are for both of these teams in the second half.
Well, I think the key is this first possession of the second half for the Jefferson Cougars. Remember, Washington got the football to get the game started and immediately drove down the field and put points on the board. Jefferson's only down by a score. If they could take this first possession, punch it into the end zone, and tie this thing up 21-all, it's a brand new ball game. So the key for Jefferson is success with this opening possession. For the Washington Patriots, a key would be to hold them, and then on their first possession, go ahead and stretch this lead back out. They've been able to run the football very well in that first half. Got to keep that up here in the second half.
Looks like, Matt, we may actually have a second half kickoff without 3 minutes being added on to the halftime clock. I don't think we've seen that once yet this year. Real quick before we get into the second half of action. Coming up this weekend, it'll be an odd time afternoon game, more of an evening game for West Virginia as they're taking on the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. That is a 2 o'clock 2:30? 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock
2 o'clock
pregame.
pregame and kick off at 5:30.
Yeah, 3.5 hours of pregame in case you're not aware. So if you want to spend your whole day around Mountaineer football, the IMG, Learfield College, whatever
IMG
it's called,
College,
network.
Mountaineer, the Lick Network.
Yeah, that's the thing.
The Lick Network.
They give you all kinds of opportunities.
So tune in, AM 740, FM 106.5. And on Sunday, it is Rivalry Week continued on our airwaves. It is the Washington football team, formerly Redskins,
1932,
taking on the Dallas Cowboys in the renewing of that rivalry for the first time this year. One of two games. The second game on Thanksgiving Day. And I spoke too soon. They've put 3 minutes up on that halftime scoreboard clock.
You knew better. You knew better.
And I figured I may have spoken too soon. With both teams out on their sidelines, I figured it may have been an opportunity to get play started. Both captain or a captain from each team will go out to midfield. It'll be Tommy Wogan and Sammy Roberts going out to midfield. Matt, we talked a little bit about the playoff picture when it came to where the Eastern Panhandle teams are. As of Tuesday afternoon when these came out, Cabell Midland at 4-0, number one.
Supposed to play Martinsburg at Cabell Midland next Friday night. But right now, Berkeley County came out orange again with the numbers this morning, reported from yesterday. So we'll wait and see what comes out tomorrow at 5 o'clock. But if Berkeley County is orange again, obviously it'll be the second straight week with no athletic activities. And that means no soccer sectionals, meaning the 4 teams in the county would see their seasons end. Congratulations to the Jefferson boys and girls winning the sectional championships here in Jefferson County. The girls with a 3-2 win at Washington. The boys with a 4-0 win here at home against Washington just yesterday. So even if Berkeley County could get to gold, Cabell County is in yellow right now, so it would still look like that would not happen.
I know two teams that are hoping to at least get back to gold are Spring Mills and Musselman. They're set to play each other next Friday night in the game that, again, I'm sure is being looked at around the state with Spring Mills behind phenom Keon Padmore Johnson coming off an injury last year, really taken not only the Eastern Panhandle but the state by storm this year, playing against arguably the best player in the Mountain State this year in Blake Hartman for Musselman. Bridgeport and South Charleston are tied at number 2, and Wheeling Park is at 6 with Martinsburg and Musselman sandwiched in between.
And just as importantly, go to the bottom of the playoff pairings, and you're looking at Washington holding that 16 spot down right now, and Jefferson only a few spots away at 20. So this is a huge second half for both of these teams who really want and need this football game.
It'll be Griffin Price on to kick it off at the 40-yard line to start this second half. Jefferson will receive the football. Back deep is number 13, John Gidney, and the kickoff, a good one for Griffin Price. Bounces at the 1-yard line, will go into the end zone for a touchback. The second half kick is brought to you by Republican Wayne Clark for 65th Delegate District. 304-724-0360 or Wayne Clark for House of Delegates in the 65th District on Facebook.
So here we go. Jefferson gets that first possession. Evan Toole with a big first half, 80 yards on 14 carries, a couple of touchdown runs. Got to see him. See if they can establish a little bit of that control at the offensive line, pick up some yards on first, maybe second down, give Sammy Roberts a chance to throw that football and work their way down the field.
Roberts and Toole in the shotgun formation, 2 receivers each side of the formation. They give this to Toole. He's going off left tackle, lowers his shoulder and his head, and barrels his way forward up to the 25-yard line, gain of 5. It'll bring up second down and 5.
There you go. That's what you want. First down gain of about 5 sets you up in a good position in second down. You could run the ball here. You could throw the ball here. That first and second down so big. We talk a lot of times about third down conversions, but many times whether you convert or not on third down depends on what happens on those first 2.
It's all about where you set yourself up on first and second down. 2 receivers to this near side. Toole going to get the handoff out of the shotgun formation, trying to bounce to the outside. He'll cut back towards the hash mark, lowering that shoulder once again and spinning out of the arms of a couple of tacklers before being brought down right about that 35-yard line. That's enough for a first down, Jefferson.
16 carries now, 95 yards for Toole, and Jefferson comes out doing just what we thought they would do. Try to reestablish that ground game and then work the pass game off of that when the opportunity presents.
Mule is that blocking back, 2 receivers. Bunched up on this near side, 1 by himself on the far side. The entire offense looking back over to Coach Craig Hunter on this near sideline. Toole and Roberts in the backfield. That handoff is to Toole, going right up the middle, right behind the center. He'll gain 4 on first down. He'll bring up 2nd down and 6. And right now Jefferson moving the football well in their first drive of the second half.
Well, sometimes how do you attack a team? The same way they try to attack you, right? Go right at them, and that's exactly what Jefferson is doing here.
2nd down and 6. That ball will be snapped from the near hash mark at the 44-yard line. Once again, 2 receivers to this near side, the short side of the formation, 1 to the far side. Again, Mule is that blocking back. Coming in motion now is Gidney, and he'll get that little misdirection shovel. And he's got blockers out in front. He's across midfield with more blockers out in front. 1 man to beat. He's inside the 30 to the 25 and wrapped up and tackled by the shoelaces at the 15-yard line. But a great run for John Gidney on what was just a little misdirection on the snap, just pushing that football down, and great blocking out in front as he rushes up that far sideline before being brought down at the 15.
That gain going to be good for about 44 yards, and that'll go as a pass completion. That's that little tap or touch pass where they bring that man in motion. It's virtually a jet sweep, but instead of handing it off where there could be a fumble in the exchange.
Redirecting the football.
Yeah, it's just a little touch pass that even if it gets to the ground becomes an incomplete pass. So a great job of blocking on that left side, and we saw the speed of Gidney to turn that corner.
Absolutely. Gidney 5'8", a 153-pound senior. 2 receivers to this near side. Gidney going to come in motion once again. This time the handoff up the middle. New running back in, that's a 6. That is Christian Blau, and he lowers his shoulder and gets inside the 10-yard line, nearing the 5. We'll see where they mark it. And they'll give him
about the
9-yard line, so just inside the 10. And gets a good chunk on first down. 2nd down and short. 2nd down and 3 coming up here for Jefferson. Again, Blau is in the shotgun, and some movement on the defensive side of the football, the near side. That's number 7, Frankie Amore, and you can see the frustration immediately shaking his head, putting his hands on the hips, and that's going to move the football half the distance to the goal. And it should be enough for a first down, 1st and goal at the 5-yard line.
So 1st down and goal to go. 9 first downs now for the Jefferson Cougars.
Robertson, Christian Blau in the backfield. 1 receiver to the near side, 2 to the far side. That gives it to Blau. A little stutter step, cuts back to the inside, and he is stuffed before the goal line. Gets about half of what he needed, down to about the 3.
Now they have grounded and pounded in this one. That little touch pass, the big play, 46 yards, and they are just a couple of yards away from pay dirt and an extra point away from maybe tying this one up.
Last time they got this close, we saw him put the jumbo package in and give it to Evan Toole. This time going to keep the spread. And Christian Blau going to stay in the ball game. Mule that blocking back to this near side. 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. 2nd down and goal. Ball going to be snapped from the 3-yard line. Roberts going to drop back to pass. Looking to this near side. Fires in the end zone, and that one not able to be corralled in. The intended receiver looked like it's a 23, and it is. That's Spencer Powell, who was the intended target as it flies through the back of the end zone. 3rd down and goal now for Jefferson.
Powell was the outside receiver here to the right, went down and cut towards the middle of the field, and then filling in behind him was the man in motion. I believe that was Gidney who had come in motion from left to right and then filled behind him.
Certainly looked like Gidney was pretty open in that front third of the end zone.
I was thinking 2 options there for Roberts, and he chose the inside route.
Now here comes that jumbo package. Evan Toole going to get that snap. He's going to go off left tackle. Stutter step, cuts back towards the goal line, and he will be stuffed before getting there at the 2-yard line, and a defensive stand. And now a late penalty flag coming in. I think they're going to get a late hit after the whistle as Toole was thrown down to the ground.
I agree that it was late. At the same time, I think the officials have to blow that play dead a little bit faster. Now, we couldn't hear the whistles blowing very well from here, but it certainly seemed like a play that they let keep going.
Yeah, that play definitely moving in the wrong direction. You could tell Toole not going to get out of the grasp of that. And is a personal foul on Washington.
Yep. That's going to move that football down. Should be what, about the 1 yard line or 2 yard line? Yeah, about 1.5. So we'll count that as the 1.
No, Matt, that ball marker right at about the 2.5.
The 2.5?
It looks like right about that 2.5 yard line on that far side where that marker says first and goal from about the 2.5, maybe even 3 yard line.
But I thought they were already snapping from about the 3 yard line. It's got to be closer.
And again, not an automatic first down.
No.
High school football, so it just gives Jefferson one more play. Roberts and Toole in the backfield. Looks like more of a pistol look right now. A little offset pistol blocking back is Mule to this near side, one receiver on each side of the formation. Give us to Toole right up the middle, and I don't think he got it. Jefferson, another goal line stand, and he didn't get it. The Patriots take over inside the 2 yard line, and after Jefferson went nearly the length of the field, can't punch it in.
Well, there you go. Washington makes a big defensive stop at the time that you thought Jefferson was going to punch it in with a chance to tie it up. And now it's up to that Cougar defense to be able to try to make something happen and get that football back.
And how many times have we heard from Craig Hunter the struggle of this team to finish drives?
Mm-hmm.
That is something we hear from him on almost a weekly basis. This team, we played well, just couldn't seem to finish some drives. There's an example right there on your TV screen and radio dial. The snap is to Frankie Moore, a little high. He's able to corral it in, goes right up the middle, and gets across the 5 yard line to the 7. Good gain on first down for the senior quarterback, Frankie Moore, following those offensive linemen up front.
Yeah, that snap a little high, as you said. An outstanding job to reach up there and grab that one and get that football out to really close to the 8 yard line.
Yeah, maybe even closer to the 9 where that ball marker is set. Brings up a 2nd down and 3 for the Patriots. Amore, back to his right. Again, he'll take that direct snap and taking himself off tackle following a host of blockers and bottled up after what looks like a gain of 1. It'll bring up 3rd down and short for the Patriots.
He did get to that 10 yard line. So it's going to be 3rd and a yard, maybe a yard and a half, and we've got an injured Washington player down.
Looking to see if I can see a number, and can't quite make out a number with that player down. Both teams going to head to their sideline. Let's go ahead and send it back to the studio, take a 30-second break, a 30-second timeout. Then we're back with 7:17 remaining in quarter number 3. It is Washington leading Jefferson 21-14. We're back in 30 seconds.
Looking to buy a home in the Eastern Panhandle? Having trouble getting your house sold? Then call Chris Ross and the Milestone Real Estate Group at Keller Williams. A Martinsburg High School graduate, Chris knows the local market, and he's proven it as the #1 real estate team in West Virginia in 2019. Milestone Real Estate Group at Keller Williams. Phone 304-579-7349 or go to callchrisross.com. Let's celebrate your real estate milestone together.
Welcome back in to Cougar Stadium. An injured Patriots still down on the turf at about that 7 yard line. Still can't get a number on who that may be, but the medical staff is tending to the injured player right now.
I was looking at the Washington huddle on that far side.
John Alderton, our cameraman, saying it's a 44, which would be Colton Childress, who is more of that fullback, as coming to his feet, able to walk off on his own power. So hopefully just knocking the wind out, or maybe getting his bell rung a little bit. Hoping for the best for Colton Childress.
Now a big 3rd down and about a yard to go for a first for Washington. 3 for 6 on 3rd down conversions. This Jefferson defense needs to make the stop here and try to force that punt from out of the end zone. Look, the punting game has not been kind to Washington this season, averaging only a little better than about 25 yards a kick.
It has not. That snap a little high to Tommy Wogan. Bobbles and just has to fall on it at the 8 yard line. And when they just needed 1, they moved back about 1 yard as Wogan looked like he was looking a little to his left on that snap, maybe figuring out where that blocking was going to be. Didn't watch the football all the way in. It now brings up 4th down and 3. Frankie Amore coming back in the game, and a couple of other red helmets coming back in, and you would imagine they would have to punt the football from this point of this yard line of the field. There's no way they can go for this one.
And remember, Frankie Amore is that punter.
Yeah, but now he's going to drop back into the end zone.
He'll do that rugby-style kick, so you've got to watch him running.
There's that snap to Amore, rolling to his right. He will punt it away. A high end-over-end kick, bringing the return man back to the 44-yard line. And blockers out in front. Stumbles as he backpedaled to the 47 and will be tackled by that 47-yard line. The return man, number 16, Keyshawn Robinson, just could not keep his footing as he was trying to bounce it to this near side. And it certainly looked like he had a lane if he could turn that corner. Jefferson will take over in Washington territory, the football at the 48-yard line.
Now you got to credit that defense. They did just what they needed to do. The offense got right down to the goal line, couldn't punch it in. The defense gives them the football right back in great field position.
Toole and Roberts in the backfield. Two receivers to each side of the formation. That ball towards the left hash. Looking back over to this near sideline to adjust that play call. 4-down lineman for the Washington Patriots. First down and 10. Snap goes back to Roberts. He's going to roll to this near side, looking for a receiver across midfield, and that caught at the 36-yard line, hauling that pass in. Spencer Powell, and that's a first down, Jefferson.
Yeah, very well thrown ball on the rollout to his right. Can you believe this is the third time in this game that a Jefferson drive has started at exactly the 48 of Washington?
I can, because I remember the previous two.
Now they mark it back to that 37, so the gain good for just about 11.
Good enough to move the first down chains. However, two receivers to each side of the formation. Again, to this Toole in the backfield. He'll get that handoff, go off right tackle. He's inside the 30, lowering that shoulder and taking a tackler with him out of bounds as he gets down to the 26 before being forced out of bounds. And that good enough for about 7 on first down.
Well, let's wait and see where they mark it. That'll be a gain of 11 if it's down to the 26. Yeah, give him 11 and a first down. So back-to-back 11-yard plays.
Ball on this near side hash, 26-yard line for the Cougars. Trying to tie it up with a touchdown. Washington up 21-14, under 5:30 to playing quarter number 3. Evan Toole going to take the handoff, go right off the center, lower that shoulder, and gain a handful.
Gain of 5 down to that 21, it looks like. A good job again here in this possession, establishing that ground game.
And right now, Jefferson moving and keeping that tempo up. Snap goes to Sammy Roberts. Again, Toole going to get that handoff. Started up the middle, bouncing it outside of the tackles. Lowering that shoulder, spinning outside of a couple of tackles inside the 15-yard line before being pushed out. Wait and see where they mark that football. Looks like about the 13.
Yeah, eventually Bryson Fleming was the one to wrap him up and bring him down, but another first down gain.
First and 10 from what looks like they'll give him the 14-yard line where he was pushed out of bounds. 3 receivers now to the far side of the formation, 1 to the short side of the formation. Toole to the left of Sammy Roberts, gets that handoff and wrapped up immediately at the ankles, wrapping him up. Looks like a 70. Waiting to see the last number.
71, Jonathan 71. Lavely.
Yes, sir. Second down and 10 coming up is no gain on that play for Jefferson. They'll keep it 1 receiver to this near side, 3 to the far side, Toole to the right of the quarterback, Sammy Roberts. Roberts a little bit late getting that snap, and that's a case where it certainly looks like the center off on that snap count as everybody else moved around him. Loss of 5 on the penalty, second down and 15.
And the first Jefferson penalty of this second half, now 3 penalties, 15 yards in this one. That one hurts, though.
And the momentum moving you forward. The offense has been moving at a good pace all the way up the field. Now going to have to slow it down as they will take a little bit longer to get to that line of scrimmage. Roberts drops back to pass, looking right, going to roll to this near side, floating it down the field to the 5-yard line. That one caught at the 5-yard line by Spencer Powell, and still looks like he's a little bit short of that first down yard to gain. It'll make it a 3rd and short coming up for Jefferson. Ball marked at the 7-yard line.
Boy, that is a dangerous pass.
Ball a lot of air underneath, but didn't it?
Yeah, but he had a receiver between 2 layers of the defense. You had the linebackers up tight. You had the DBs back deep. He floated it in there.
3rd down and 4 coming up. Roberts rolling to his left, looking in the end zone, and that pass is caught for a touchdown in the left side of the end zone. Isaiah Fritz hauls it in, and Jefferson within an extra point away from tying this one up at 21 with 3:30 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
There you go. Outstanding the way that they have put together 2 drives here in this 3rd quarter. And now let's see if they go for that single-point conversion or not.
Or will they take the lead? It looks like they are going to go for 2. We have not seen an extra point attempted on any of the 3 touchdowns now for Jefferson. Again, an empty backfield. Fade route in the back corner of the end zone, thrown up, jump ball, and that one incomplete. So with 3:30 remaining in quarter number 3, we take a 60-second timeout. We come back, see if Washington can answer. They hold a narrow 1-point lead, 21-20. We're back in 60 seconds.
Pete Doherty will put Berkeley and Jefferson County first in the state Senate. Doherty has spent 4 decades fighting for our children, seniors, and veterans while keeping the Eastern Panhandle safe from crime. As your senator, Doherty will fight back against the Charleston establishment, ensure that police have the funding needed to protect our communities, repair our crumbling infrastructure and high-speed internet, and be a champion for public education. On November 3rd, let's tell Charleston there's a new sheriff in town. Vote Pete Doherty for state Senate.
We've been in a slow-moving educational crisis in West Virginia. Our schools are crumbling, our teachers are struggling. We all see it in our communities. Our Constitution provides a guarantee for a thorough and efficient, free public education. When we brought claims to ensure those objectives were fulfilled in Fayette County, we improved our school system. Our Attorney General must serve as the counsel to our people to ensure this critical objective. I'm Sam Petsong, and I approve this message.
Welcome back into Cougar Stadium. 3:30 remaining in quarter number 3. Jefferson missing a 2-point conversion to take the lead. Washington holds on to that lead, 21-20. Mule sending it down this near side, bouncing at the 20-yard line. Amore going to just fall on it at the 15. That one died after about 2 bounces in that natural grass. And Washington will start their drive at the 15-yard line. Now let's take a look at that scoring drive summary.
Well, another impressive drive for Jefferson here in quarter number 3. This time they do find pay dirt. 7 plays, 48 yards, 2 minutes and 38 seconds. The touchdown pass from about 7 yards out, going from Sammy Roberts to Isaiah Fritz, and that has him within 1 at 21-20.
1st and 10, ball on the near hash mark, the 15-yard line.
This will be just the 4th offensive play for Washington in this 3rd quarter with 3:30 left in the period.
Fleming and Amore in the backfield. Amore going to get that direct snap, trying to bounce it to the outside. Goes right between the hash marks and is bottled up after a gain of about 2. Bring up a 2nd down and 8, ball at the 17-yard line.
Certainly not much there, and a good adjustment, as you talked about there at the half, that Jefferson was making those adjustments, and they've been able to slow down that single wing attack.
Still haven't seen a lot of handoffs for Washington. It's pretty much been whoever gets the snap is going to carry that football. Again, it is Fleming and Amore in the backfield. Amore going to get that snap, and he's going to take it himself again, trying to bounce to the outside, and he's going to lose a couple even beyond what was the original line of scrimmage. He stopped at the 13. They may give him the 14 with forward progress, but good defense by Jefferson, not allowing him to turn that corner, and 3rd down and long upcoming for the Patriots.
Yeah, a whole bunch of players out there trying to get that number. It might be a 6-1 helping to lead the way. Couldn't quite tell. Still haven't been able to get that.
Not a 6-1 on the roster, so I'm not thinking it's 61.
Yeah, but either way, just a tremendous effort by that Jefferson defense, stringing that play out again and putting it as a lost play, and now setting up this Washington offense in a very tough 3rd and long.
Ball at about the 14-yard line. That brings up a 3rd down and 11, almost 3rd down and 12. I believe that's Tommy Wogan by himself in the backfield. It is. He takes that direct snap, and no blockers in front. He's just got to lower his shoulder and absorb that hit as he gets across the 15, but just to the 16-yard line. And Washington, once again, going to have to punt that football away. Their offense has slowed to start this second half.
Absolutely, and give that Jefferson defense credit. They have stepped up and made plays, and now that offense with a chance to maybe gain the lead.
Frankie Amore going to come and punt that football away, as he will go back to the 2-yard line where he received that kick. Robinson back deep for Jefferson. Rolling to that right, the rugby-style kick for Amore. Has to stutter step a little bit to make sure he has the room. The return man gets it at the 17-yard line with blockers out in front inside the 45 to the 40 before being brought down to the 39-yard line. And that return man, John Gidney, instead of Keyshawn Robinson. Once again, Matt, make it the fourth time that Jefferson will start in Washington territory, but a flag down at the 22-yard line on the far side of the field. Wait and see what that penalty flag may be. Interesting area of the field to have a flag on that punt.
Holding on Washington is the indication that we just saw.
So holding on the Patriots, just trying to keep somebody from getting back to Frankie Amore. So they hold before the snap rather than during the return.
Well, the officials are going to have to get together and try to talk it out, but this Jefferson defense really coming out of the locker room, playing great football, holding the Patriots to a pair of 3 and outs, while the Jefferson offense has done what it needs to do. They've run 16 plays already here in this third quarter after running just 21 plays in that entire first half. They got to the goal line on one drive and punched it in on the other.
It was a holding against the Patriots. That penalty was declined. So they will move that football up and assess it on the return.
Yeah, so not declined. They'll move it forward, and Jefferson will just get better field possession. But it looks like 10 yards on that hold. So Washington having some issues now. 6 penalties, 40 yards, and 3 penalties here in this third quarter.
Football now inside the 30-yard line. The 29 is where it'll get snapped from this near side hash. There's the quick little dump off. That is Robinson getting it. He turns the corner inside the 20 to 15. Cuts back inside the numbers to the 10 before he's wrapped up on the far sideline. Finally in there on the tackle is a 14 Joseph Robel, but not for a first down and a big gain. And Matt, they've now run that play twice, and it's worked to success both times. First down Jefferson inside the red zone, make it a first and goal opportunity from the 5.
24 yards on that one, as you mentioned earlier, 46 yards on that same kind of play.
Snap to Roberts, the give out of the backfield, and finding the end zone on the handoff to Christian Blau, and he's in from 5 yards out. Jefferson, for the first time in this ball game, takes the lead with 43.7 remaining in quarter number 3, 26-21.
Boy, a tale of two halves. And for the Washington Patriots, they have got to find some way to wrestle some momentum back, because it is all on the side of the Jefferson Cougars right now.
2-point conversion. Not a shock so far in this game for Jefferson. Empty backfield except for Roberts. Roberts going at the goal line, and that one not hauled in and broken up. Probably wouldn't have been counted in the end zone regardless, and a 2-point conversion failed. 43.7 remaining in quarter number 3. We take a 60-second timeout with Jefferson leading Washington 26-21.
Orsini's, not just an appliance store anymore. They're your one-stop resource for all home needs, whether it's custom kitchen design, countertops, or cabinets, or check out their new sleep studio with Tempur-Pedic, Sealy, and Stearns & Foster. For all of your outdoor living needs, Orsini's has Gladiator Garage Works, Traeger grills, barbecue accessories, barbecue rubs and sauces, and every flavor wood pellets. Visit their brand new 8,200 square foot showroom at 360 Hack Wilson Way, 304-267-7251, Orsinis.com.
They're my closest friends. We've been through a lot together. Seeing our kids off to college, Kelly losing her mom, my 50th birthday. I trust them with so much. So when it came to my finances, I trusted Kelly's referral to her Ameriprise advisor. Beth gives me the comprehensive advice that helps me feel confident my financial future is secure. With the right financial advisor, life can be brilliant. Ameriprise Financial.
And we welcome you back in. Frankie Amore takes the in-swing kickoff at the 18-yard line, cuts back towards the center of the field, still eluding tacklers, gets up to the 30-yard line before he is stopped in the 30. In the center of the field is where Washington will start this offensive drive. And, Matt, you mentioned it, with no momentum right now offensively in the ball game. Let's take a look at that scoring drive summary for Jefferson.
For the Cougars, just 2 plays in 23 seconds. All they needed to cover 29 yards. The 5-yard touchdown run for Christian Blau, and now the 2-point conversion again fails, but the Cougars have the lead 26-21.
A couple of quick substitutions for Washington. Still getting a few players coming in. Jonathan Lavely coming in. Shotgun formation for Frankie Moore in that single wing. Brings a man in motion. Little misdirection. Crisscross in the backfield and stuffed immediately. A loss of one. Bryson Fleming on the carry.
You said they haven't handed the football off much. Tried to make something happen there with that misdirection play, but that Jefferson defense holding their ground.
Second down and 11 for Washington. Ball on this near side hash mark as we're under 10 on that third quarter clock, and it looks like Washington is going to just let that one run out. We're through 3 quarters of play here from Shenandoah Junction. It is Jefferson with the lead, 26-21 over Washington. A 90-second break, then we're back for the fourth and final quarter in the Jefferson County rivalry. We're back in 90 seconds.
West Virginia is Trump country, and Mac Warner is working with President Trump to keep America great. Mac Warner cleaned up the Secretary of State's office and is fighting against election fraud. Pro-Trump, conservative, West Virginia Secretary of State Mac Warner.
John Purdue never dreamed he'd go to college, let alone become one of the best state treasurers. John Purdue brought back financial integrity and transparency to the treasurer's office. He created the highly successful Smart 529 College Savings Program, and under his watch has returned more than $230 million in unclaimed property. He's created the 457 Retirement Program and WV Able, and his Board of Treasury Investments has the highest rating from Standard & Poor's.
I'm John Purdue, and I've never forgotten that I worked for you.
West Virginia is Trump country, and Mac Warner is working with President Trump to keep America great. Mac Warner cleaned up the Secretary of State's office and is fighting against election fraud. Pro-Trump, conservative, West Virginia Secretary of State Mac Warner.
In Morgantown, Mac Warner admits he has a slumlord reputation. Here at the Capitol, on his first day, he illegally fired 16 people, costing the state $4 million. But there's more. He allows a full-time employee to work on state time as a radio host here. But there's more. He admits taxpayers are paying thousands of dollars a month on his one-stop shop, even though he says the phone and computer lines don't work right. Seriously, it's time to end his fraud, waste, and abuse. I'm Natalie Tennant, and I'd appreciate your vote.
We're going to keep it on the read option to this side. Cuts back up on the near side hash and nowhere to go with the football. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage and nothing more. Third down and long coming up. And, Matt, we've been singing that song the entire second half. Third down and long.
Well, and Matt, I tell you, head coach Craig Hunter and his defensive staff in particular have to be so pleased. He told us in the pregame show they've had their trouble with those teams that run the misdirection, and that's what you get out of this single wing. And after some struggles through that first half, they have turned it up here in the second half.
All again on that near side hash, 29-yard line. Amore in the backfield. Fleming to his left. Amore's going to roll to his left. He's going to air it out down the field, looking for his man at the 46-yard line. Are they going to call it a catch? They are, and it's Meisenzahl again, hauling it in for the first down. Very close to whether he was able to cradle that football before it hit the ground. Our referee saying yes. Craig Hunter saying, I don't believe it, but it's a first down, Washington.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I can believe that one either, happening directly in front of us, the way that that wounded duck was fluttering towards the ground, and somehow Meisenzahl got underneath of it.
Sure, Frankie Amore loved the fact that you just called his pass a wounded duck.
I'm sure he would admit it, too, when he sees the replay.
Amore brings a man in motion, a little spin move, actually make that Bryson Fleming going to take that carry, and he's going to gain 10 on first down. First down, Washington.
Now, there you go. That's all they needed was something to try to get them going, to give them at least a little bit of momentum, their first 2 first downs of this second half.
And who would have thought it would have been a pass that got that momentum going for Washington. Ball now at the 44-yard line in Jefferson territory. First down and 10 as we are under 11 to play in this ball game. It is Fleming and Amore in the shotgun formation. Amore going to get it, go right up the middle. Shake in a couple of tacklers for a gain of 2. Bring up second down and 8.
Again, nice job by that defense. Again, that's our 61 in there. We don't have that number on the roster, but A great job to hold his ground, stop that one after a gain of only a couple.
Amore still looking to that sideline, taking a step closer, trying to get the correct play call from head coach Glenn Simpson. Now we'll jog back into the huddle as we're under 16 seconds now on that play clock. 4 down linemen for Jefferson. Make that now 5 down linemen for Jefferson. A little bit of a Statue of Liberty style plays. Amore takes it right up the middle and nowhere to go. He brought Vrobel in motion, and Vrobel did a little hop, skip, and a jump behind Frankie Amore, but did not fool that Cougar front 7. And they stuffed Amore after a gain of half a yard, maybe a yard on the forward progress. 3rd down and long once again, 3rd and 7 from the 42-yard line.
Well, Washington over on 3rd downs until that 17-yard pass on the 3rd and 9 earlier in this drive. So overall 3 of 9 in this ball game, and this is a big 3rd down here, down by 5.
Under 10 to play in this one. It's Amore in the backfield. Moving Bryson Fleming out to his left. Little pump fake. Is Amore going to drop back to pass? Nowhere to go with the football. He falls down at the 45-yard line, and that knee hit, and a penalty flag coming in late as some contact made with Frankie Amore, that number 61 we don't have on our roster. And that one's tough, and just one you have to make sure you understand the situation. And another late flag coming in at the 43-yard line by our back official.
Yeah, that one's probably going to be on somebody on the sideline as the complaint was coming from the sideline. We may have double penalties on Jefferson in this situation.
Yeah, personal foul once.
Yep,
and unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, and that's going to cost him 30 yards as both of those will go. I don't like that call. I just don't.
You're not 100% sure if Amore's knee went down. You're trying to make sure he's down. I'm with you.
It wasn't a hard shove.
It wasn't flagrant at all. It wasn't malicious in any way. I think you let that one slide.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that one, but it ends up being plus 30 yards on a pair of penalties. And for Jefferson, 2 very, very costly penalties. They had been penalized just 3 times for 15 yards in the game, and now you add these on, and that's 5 penalties for 45 yards, and it keeps this possession going.
Ball the 25-yard line on this near hash mark. Jumbo formation right now for Washington. Nobody out wide. That snap going to go to Tommy Wogan. He'll go right up the middle off left guard. Gain of a couple on that. About 3 it looks like. 2nd down and 7 coming up for the Patriots.
Well, there's how you convert on a 3rd and 8. You lose 13 yards when your quarterback stumbles, and then you get double penalties, and you still pick up the 1st down anyway.
And Matt, that's where momentum starts to shift.
Yeah.
You get a penalty, you get a big pass play when you're not a team that relies on that pass all that often. And this is where if Washington can put one in the end zone, this would be a momentum-shifting series in this game. Again, going with that jumbo package. It is Fleming and Wogan as tailbacks in the formation. That snap going to go to Bryson Fleming off the right side this time, getting inside the 20-yard line, all the way down to the 19 before he is stopped. 3rd down and 4 coming up for Washington, and another big 3rd down as they may even give him the 18, and they will.
Yeah, that'll be a gain of 5, and it brings up a very manageable, especially for this offense, 3rd down and roughly 3.
Washington going with the jumbo set the last 2 plays. And it looks like they will keep it pretty much the same way. It's Fleming and Amore in the backfield. Amore going to keep it himself. He's got blockers out in front. It's Fleming trying to seal that corner. Inside the 15 to the 10, turning toward the pylon, diving. Did he get him before he stepped out of bounds? No, they're going to say he's out at about the 3.
Wow, great run to pick up 15 yards as Frankie Amore able to turn that corner, and Fleming.
Yeah, Bryson Fleming leading the way right there, but a great job by Amore cutting back towards the numbers right there as he was almost being shoved out of bounds. Jefferson trying to use that sideline as an extra defender. 1st and goal from the 3-yard line. Washington trying to answer and regain the lead in this ball game. Again, jumbo formation. Tommy Wogan is by himself. He will get the direct snap. Takes it, goes right up the middle, lowers that shoulder, trying to lean, trying to get a push from that offensive line. Won't get it, but stopped at the 1. 2nd and goal coming up. 7:15 remaining in the ball game.
Yeah, Wogan picks up a couple, but cannot push his way in. 12th play of this possession coming with that football Down close to the 1. I'll mark it really at the 2 the way they set it down, so a gain of only 1.
2nd and goal, 2-yard line. That ball nearing that left hash. Fleming and Wogan as that ball hits the deck, and diving on it is Tommy Wogan. And that'll be a loss of 2, bringing that football back to the 4.
By the way, 61 is Joey Slaughter, we have just been told. Joey Slaughter, who was wearing 77 on our roster, is our number 61 for Jefferson. So it was a procedure penalty. That'll back Washington up, put it back at about the 7-yard line where it's 2nd and goal. -5 will now be 7 penalties, 45 yards for the Patriots.
Jumbo formation is Wogan and Fleming. Another low snap is to make that. Frankie Amore now gets that low snap. Tries to get to the outside, and he does. Gets back inside the 5-yard line, pushed out around the 3. Frankie Amore, all will right there. Trying to turn that corner and did so. 3rd down and goal from the 3.
No. This one's all the way down to the 1 now as they set it down.
Certainly looked like they pushed out at the 3. And they will give it the 1. 1 yard to gain in what would be a huge score in what's been a great game so far between two cross-county rivals. Tommy Wogan by himself as the lone man back. Now brings somebody else back to his left. Snap goes to Wogan, going off the left tackle. Lowers that shoulder, leans, and he is stopped at the 1-foot line. Clearly 4-down territory right now for head coach Glenn Simpson. And you would imagine a very similar play call coming up as quickly just as Tommy Wogan walks back to the sideline, takes about 3 steps, quickly turns around and comes back to the huddle. That ball inside the 1-yard line.
1 of 2 on 4th down conversion attempts in the first half for the Washington Patriots. What happens here?
Tommy Wogan by himself. Low snap is able to corral it. Dives forward. Did he get in? He did. It's a touchdown, Washington.
Wow.
Tommy Wogan tough enough just to get that snap and bring it in. Stumbling forward, was tripped up, and just gets the tip of that football over the goal line. Washington takes the lead 27-26. What a football game we have in front of us. Don't go anywhere with 5:12 left.
Well, you'd imagine you go for the 2-point conversion right here and push this out as far as the lead is concerned.
2 points and 1 point's the same thing. A field goal still puts Jefferson in the lead, so I would assume a 2-point conversion as well, and it certainly looks like that's what we get right here. Tommy Wogan by himself in the jumbo pack again.
At the
There's
same
a snap
time,
from the 3-yard line. Wogan, a jump pass in the end zone. Is it caught?
It is.
It is caught. That was a 4-0 on the receiving end. Jimmy Williams on a jump pass from Tommy Wogan. 2-point conversion is good with 5:12 remaining in the game. Jefferson will get the football back on the backside of this 60-second break. Don't go anywhere. It's Washington 29, Jefferson 26. This is West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
West Virginia is Trump country, and Mac Warner is working with President Trump to keep America great. Mac Warner cleaned up the Secretary of State's office and is fighting against election fraud. Pro-Trump, conservative, West Virginia Secretary of State Mac Warner.
John Purdue never dreamed he'd go to college, let alone become one of the best state treasurers. John Purdue brought back financial integrity and transparency to the treasurer's office. He created the highly successful Smart 529 College Savings Program, and under his watch has returned more than $230 million in unclaimed property. He's created the 457 Retirement Program and WV Able, and his Board of Treasury Investments has the highest rating from Standard & Poor's.
I'm John Purdue, and I've never forgotten that I worked for you.
West Virginia is Trump country, and Mac Warner is working with President Trump to keep America great. Mac Warner cleaned up the Secretary of State's office and is fighting against election fraud. Pro-Trump, conservative, West Virginia Secretary of State Mac Warner.
Welcome back into Cougar Stadium. Washington with the touchdown and 2-point conversion regains the lead by 3, 29-26. 5:12 remaining in the ballgame. Griffin Price on for the kickoff. It is Keyshawn Robinson back to return. High end-over-end kick. Robinson going to come up to the 23-yard line where he will start his return. Blockers out in front. He gets across the 30-yard line to the 33 before he is stood up and driven back. And that's where Jefferson will start with the football with 5:07 remaining in the game. And they need a score here as we have another tight ball game between two cross-county rivals. Matt?
A drive summary for Washington. 14 plays, 70 yards, took 7 minutes and 25 seconds off the clock, aided by a pair of 15-yard penalties on a 3rd and 8 when they lost 13. A roughing the passer and an unsportsmanlike kept the drive alive, and they get the 1-yard touchdown from Tommy Wogan on 4th and goal.
2 receivers each side of the formation, 1 tailback to the left of Sammy Roberts. There's the snap. That gives to Toole right up the middle. He goes off the center, gains a couple on that, up to the 39-yard line before he is wrapped up by a host of red helmets. 2nd down and 7 coming up for Jefferson. That scoring drive summary, a service of Paul Espinoza, running for re-election in the 66th district. They'll give him about 5 on that one, back up to the 39-yard line. 2nd down and 5 for the Cougars. Once again, 2 receivers each side of the formation. 1 tailback next to quarterback Sammy Roberts. Smack those hands together. Toole gets that carry. He's going off right tackle, trying to turn the corner. He will. Gets across the 45, nearing the 50. That's a 1st down Jefferson as Toole gets pushed out right around midfield. They'll give him the 49 or midfield on the dot. And right now, Jefferson moving in the right direction as we have 4:30 remaining in the ball game.
Add 10 more for Toole. I've got him at 25 carries for 139 yards on the night. Evan Toole has had himself a game.
Push that back to the 49-yard line. Jefferson still in their own territory. Mule is that blocking back to the far side of the formation. Toole is the tailback. 2 receivers this near side, 1 to the far side. That gave us to Toole. He'll cut back, gets a block from one of his receivers. He's across midfield, cuts back towards the inside. Good stiff arm, tripped up, and a tackle. That's a number 4. That's Austin Sharp just tripping up Evan Toole at the 45-yard line. But a 6-yard gain on the play for running back Evan Toole. 2nd down 4 coming up. Ball in the near hash for the Jefferson Cougars. Clock running under 4 to play here in Shenandoah Junction. Blocking back Mule to this near side of the formation. 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to this near side. Snap goes to Roberts. Toole gets that. He's got blockers on that far side. On the far hash, trying to turn the corner. Inside the 40, pushed out right around that 39. Slides out and injured Jefferson Cougar, or at least one slow to get up on this near side of the field. That's Joey Slaughter, but he is to his feet. That was enough on the gain for Evan Toole. That's a 1st down, Jefferson.
All Evan Toole so far on this drive. He's up to 27 carries for 150 yards. They've had a couple of 1st downs. They don't have to rush with 3:37 on that clock.
And, in fact, the way that Washington's offense is running that single wing, they want to take a little more time off the clock. Whistle, and I believe we're going to have a timeout. We'll see who called it. It is Washington. Let's take the 60-second break as well with 3:37 remaining in the ball game. It is right now Washington leading Jefferson 29-26. We're back in 60 seconds.
Hi, I'm Elliot Simon, and I'm your candidate for delegate in the 67th District. During these uncertain times, the safety of our community is first and foremost as we work to get our economy back on track. I will take a common-sense approach to government to make sure that West Virginia Strong isn't just a slogan. West Virginia is up and coming. Let's keep it going. I'm Elliot Simon, and I'm asking for your vote.
Paid for by Simon for Delegate Mark Furman, Treasurer.
Let's keep West Virginia moving in the right direction. Let's keep Patricia Rucker in the state Senate. State Senator Patricia Rucker kept her promise to fight for West Virginia values.
I'm Patricia Rucker, and I'm asking for your vote for state Senate.
As the state Senate Education Chair, Patricia Rucker led the charge to improve our schools. State Senator Patricia Rucker, promises made, promises kept.
I am Patricia Rucker, and I am proud to vote for our schools, our families, and our future.
Welcome back into Cougar Stadium. The only game in the Eastern Panhandle tonight turned out to be a great one. 3:37 remaining in quarter number 4. A 3-point lead for the visiting Washington Patriots as they try to all but solidify a spot in this year's playoffs, trying to get their 5th win of the 2020 campaign. Jefferson trying to spoil their fun and keep their playoff hopes alive. 1st down and 10, ball at the 40-yard line. Jefferson is in Washington territory. Quick substitution as the receiver comes off. 2 to the far side of the field, 1 to the near side of the field in terms of receivers. Again, 1 coming in motion. It's quick. It's Robinson getting that little misdirection. Good stiff arm by Robinson as he gets inside the 40 down to the 37-yard line. May even give him the 36. And again, ferocious, a stiff arm by Keyshawn Robinson.
A nice way to gain 4 yards. Another one of those little touch pass completions. 8 of 14 now for 147 yards on the day for Sammy Roberts.
Shepard made that their bread and butter last year offensively. Yes. Two receivers to the far side. Mule is the blocking back, and one receiver to this near side. It is Evan Toole who gets the handoff. He goes right up the middle inside the 35, tackled at the 30, and we'll see, depending on the spot of the ball, will be whether that's enough for a first down. It's right near that yard to gain, and they're going to say third down and short, third and inches for Jefferson in what is clearly 4-down territory. There's the snap to give us the Tool. He's got enough for the first down and more right up the middle inside the 20-yard line, taken down at the 19. First down, Jefferson, and they're going to give him down to the 18.
12 yards on that gain on a third down and inches. Now 3 of 7 on third downs for Jefferson, and there's a flag on the play as well as they quickly snap the football. Washington was still trying to get players off the field, so it could very well be an illegal substitution or illegal participation with too many men on the field, and if that's the case, I'm sure Jefferson declines that penalty and takes the result of the play.
And it is first and 10 from the 18-yard line. 2:42 remaining in the game. The clock should start running on the official signal. Jefferson more than happy to take a few more seconds off that clock before they put it in the end zone.
29 carries, 168 yards now for Evan Toole. And, Matt, you look at that roster, 5'8", 175, and just a sophomore. They've got a pretty good-looking running back that'll be around this program for another couple of years.
Our officials still talking to one another.
Clock stopped at 2:42, so it is first down.
And I think just verifying that that ball should stay where it is more than anything, which is the correct call by our officials. All right, here we go. One receiver each side of the formation. Now a second one going out to that far side. Mule that blocking back to the near side. That ball near this left side hash, the side of the Jefferson Cougars. Toole is in the backfield with Sammy Roberts. That gave us a Toole. He starts right up the middle before bouncing it to the outside. Blockers on that outside. He's inside the 15, nearing the 10. Dives forward. Does he get the pylon? He does. Touchdown, Jefferson.
Great blocking again by the right side of the line. Add those wide receivers out there doing their job. Toole with enough speed to get to that sideline, and the effort at the end making that dive. He was not going to be denied when he got to that pylon.
Evan Toole, again, that was a play that was supposed to go right up the middle, but credit those receivers on the outside. That was a play directed in between the tackles. Those receivers did not give up on the play just because the ball wasn't coming their direction, and they helped lead to that touchdown. Another strong run for Evan Toole, and Jefferson takes the lead 32-29 with 2:19 remaining in the game. No extra points tonight. We've heard there's an injury with the kicker. So here's the 2-point conversion attempt. Empty backfield, fade opportunity in the corner of the end zone, jump ball, and that one falls incomplete. So a 3-point game, 32-29. Jefferson with the lead at home with 2:19 remaining. A 60-second break to take. You're not going to want to miss the end of this one. We're back in 60 seconds. This is West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
I'm John Doyle. I'm running for re-election to the House of Delegates. In Charleston, I have fought hard for good public schools, better health care, and clean drinking water for the people of Jefferson County. And if I'm re-elected, I'll continue to do that. If you want government that is open and transparent, vote for John Doyle. If you want government that is responsible and responsive, vote for John Doyle. And if you want government that is accessible and accountable, vote for John Doyle. I'm John Doyle, and I approve this message.
We all know what a good time looks like. But what is it made of? We can think of a few things. In this case, it's handcrafted food to gather around, an ever-changing variety of wine, and a Friday night. Do yourself a favor. Experience the good in a good time.
Welcome back into Cougar Stadium. Jefferson with the lead at home, 32-29, 2:19 remaining in this ballgame. Frankie Amore, the man back, a low line drive kick taken by an up man. That's Roble at the 25-yard line across the 30. Try to bounce it to the inside. He will. Gets across that 35-yard line and stumbles at the 36. That's where Washington will start with the football as they try to mount a 3-point rally right here. Find the end zone or at least try to tie it up and force overtime. Right now with 2:13 and a team that likes to run the football in that single wing. They're going to have to watch that clock, Matt.
There you go. This is where it gets tough. That drive for Jefferson, 8 plays, 66 yards, 2 minutes and 48 seconds, 18 yards on the touchdown run for Evan Toole, 30 carries, 186 yards, and 3 scores on the night for him.
Frankie Amore by himself in the backfield. Matt, 3 receivers in the formation. Right now a true shotgun formation for Frankie Amore. Drops back going deep down that far sideline, looking for Bryson Fleming. Overthrows the intended receiver at the 45-yard line, 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, that one going over the outside shoulder of Fleming, who was looking for it over that inside shoulder. That is an extremely difficult move for that receiver to be able to turn that head around and re-find the football. It was overthrown anyway.
And something that's just a little cog in the machine right there. These receivers and offensive linemen not used to spreading it out. And once again, look at that formation again. 2 receivers to this near side, 1 to the far side, and looking like the Washington of old. Frankie Amore drops back to pass. Again, fires to that far side. Caught by Bryson Fleming at the 40-yard line before he is shoved out of bounds right at the 40. That'll be a gain of 4, bringing up 3rd down and 6, and a crucial 3rd down here for Washington.
Oh, and there you go. They went for the home run ball on the first one, didn't get it. Now you got to come back. That short pass, just try to pick up a few yards and make something happen. And the play goes out of bounds to at least stop the clock.
Nose of the football nearing the 41. 4th down or make that 3rd down and a long 5. 2 receivers to the near side of the formation. Frankie Amore drops back to pass, fires out to Vrobel, just out of his reach at the 45-yard line. 4th down and 6 coming up. 3 timeouts left for Jefferson, or make that 2 for Jefferson, 1 for Washington. But you would assume they got to go for it here.
Yeah, absolutely, and they were lucky they didn't get called for a procedure penalty.
A little bit of move by one of those blocking backs up front.
Yep. He definitely moved a little early, but they got away with it. Now it's a 4th down and 6 coming. 4th time tonight, Washington will face a 4th down. They're 2 for 3.
Under 2 minutes to play, 1:59 on a stopped clock here in Shenandoah Junction. 3 receivers to this near side. Whistles blow, and we're going to have a timeout taken by Craig Hunter. Let's go ahead and take a 30-second break. Just a 30-second break back to the studio. And we are back with a big 4th down in this one for Washington. This is West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10. We're back in 30 seconds.
Pete Doherty will put Berkeley and Jefferson County first in the state Senate. Doherty has spent 4 decades fighting for our children, seniors, and veterans while keeping the Eastern Panhandle safe from crime. As your senator, Doherty will fight back against the Charleston establishment, ensure that police have the funding needed to protect our communities, repair our crumbling infrastructure and high-speed internet, and be a champion for public education. On November 3rd, let's tell Charleston there's a new sheriff in town. Vote Pete Doherty for state Senate.
And we welcome you back into Cougar Stadium. 1:59 remaining in the game, and man, you can't keep a coach down. Just seeing that John Lowry Sr. questioning an official here, watching on TV, and he's questioned an umpire a time or 2 in his day, just to our right at Sager Field.
I love the way he does it. The pass interference call was brutal.
4th down and 6. A tight game last year. Was a Hail Mary that won it for Jefferson. Could we be lining up the same fate here? Just flip the teams. 3 receivers to this near side. Amore by himself in the shotgun formation. Takes a snap, immediately gets pressure going to his left. Going downfield, looking for Bryson Fleming. That one deflected at the last minute at the 41-yard line. And Jefferson will take over in Washington territory with 1:53 remaining in the game.
That was Spencer Powell who got there just in time. I tell you, Bryson Fleming never saw him coming. I have a feeling he was thinking, I'm catching this one and picking up that first down, and bang, out of nowhere, Powell got a hand in to knock it away.
And if you're Fleming, you have to go attack that football and make sure you bring it in at this juncture of the game. While that was a big 4th down stop for Jefferson, Washington with 2 timeouts left in this one, so could theoretically get the football back, but the defense needs some stops. And for Jefferson, you would imagine they are giving it to the man they have given it to all night, Evan Toole, to try to close this game out. It is Toole next to Sammy Roberts in the backfield. One blocking back is Mule to the right side. Man coming in motion. That give is to Toole. He goes right off left tackle, right up the middle. Gets inside the 40 down to the 37 before he is tackled. Timeout taken by Glenn Simpson.
Before he is tackled, Ethan Cockrell with that tackle and was ripping at that football trying to get it out.
30-second break back at the studio, then we are back. It is Jefferson 32, Washington 29. We're back in 30 seconds.
Hello, I'm Tom Hanson, retired lieutenant from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office and retired Master Sergeant from the West Virginia Air National Guard. I'm running for Sheriff of Jefferson County and the only candidate with over 20 years of certified West Virginia law enforcement experience. To find out more about me and what I stand for, visit my website, HansonForSheriff.net. Vote Hanson for Sheriff because experience counts. Paid for by Hanson for Sheriff.
It's been Jefferson the last 2 years, trying to make it 3 in a row. The longest win streak in this rivalry was 4 in a row, and that was Washington 2010, 2011, 2012, and 2013. This game last year came down to a Hail Mary, and it was Jefferson getting the win. Right now, on the flip side, trying to run out that clock. 2nd down and 7 from the 37-yard line coming up as our official blows the whistle, and the play clock starts counting down now from 20. Toole, no surprise, in the backfield with Sammy Roberts. About a half step behind him as he steps up right next to him. Mule, that blocking back coming in motion right to left. There's that snap. Mule, that blocking back, pulling guard more than anything, and Toole lowers that shoulder, gets the first down inside the 30, and that'll be a first down Cougars. And, Matt, that may all but seal this win for Jefferson.
Yeah, it certainly looks like it. Gritty effort tonight by Washington. This game really got away from them in that 3rd quarter when Jefferson came out, drove the field on that opening possession, and while they didn't punch it in, got stopped at the 1-yard line. The defense held, gave them the ball back, and then Jefferson able to take the lead. This has been a fun football game and a tale of 2 halves. Washington winning that first half, Jefferson winning the second half, and right now it looks like it could be a Jefferson win in the game.
Matt, the sticks had basically moved to indicate a first down. Now they move back, and I'm wondering if we may get a measurement here. Glenn Simpson in the ear of our official going, hey, can we at least get a measurement on a close play and not just give away our opportunity to win this game? That ball sitting right at the 30, which was the yard line to gain. They stretch those chains, and it is a first down.
Matt, you got to give it to Evan Toole one more time with a 7-yard gain. I have him up to 196 yards. Can they get him 4 more and get him unofficially at least to a 200-yard rushing night? Nope, he's coming out.
And should be to a standing ovation. That young man has had a fantastic ball game. Still looking at him, just a sophomore.
Yeah.
And a timeout taken by Washington. Want to keep this one right here for the final 139 in this one. Matt, what a game. The only one in the Eastern Panhandle tonight. It did not disappoint in this cross-county rival.
No, not at all. And what a week for Washington. The girls and boys soccer teams winning sectional championships yesterday, and now the football team coming up with what looks like it will be a big win in this one and keeping their
Jefferson.
I'm sorry, Jefferson. My apologies. Don't know where the brain went. Yeah, Jefferson getting the wins over Washington. 3-2 in girls soccer yesterday and 4-0 in boys soccer. And now here tonight, looking to take out Washington on the football field, 32-29. And this keeps those Jefferson playoff hopes alive. They came in number 20 in the latest WVSS-AC computer ratings. Washington was number 16. So both of these teams still with a playoff chance.
Jefferson is set to play Hedgesville next week. Not sure whether that game will happen. Certainly doesn't look like it right now. Shotgun formation, a couple of extra blockers out in front. It is Christian Blau. Now is the tailback to the left of Sammy Roberts. There's the shotgun formation. Snap to Roberts. That give is to Blau. Goes right off the right guard. Gets inside the 30 down to the 29. No timeouts left for Washington, so they're just going to watch this clock wind down as they drop back down to the 500 mark at 4-4.
Plenty of time. They can let that play clock wind for another 20 seconds. Won't have to snap until we're under a minute, which means perhaps only this play, maybe one more after.
10 seconds on the play clock as we are now under a minute left in this game. 5 on that play clock, now down to 4. Roberts looks in, smacks those hands together, gives it to Blau right up the middle, runs in to several red helmets before he is wrapped up. 40 seconds on that play clock, one more snap, and that will be the game. And Jefferson, barring a absolute miracle right now, is going to go on for the win. As the fans here in Shenandoah Junction come to their feet and start their applaud, as their Cougars going to get a big win for the 3rd year in a row over the Washington Patriots. One more snap left to take. One receiver each side of the formation. It is Blau in the backfield. letting that play clock wind all the way down, but any snap from here on out would do it. There's that snap to Roberts in the shotgun. He will drop to a knee at the 28-yard line, and that will do it as the Cougars go on the field to congratulate their teammates and congratulate each other. The clock hits 0. Your final in this one from Shenandoah Junction, it is Jefferson 32, Washington 29. A break to take. When we come back, we will start our post-game show and recap what was an exciting one here from Jefferson County. Again, your final, it was Jefferson 32, Washington 29. We're back after this break.
I'm Storm Shiley Frame, and I'm running to serve the 66th District in the West Virginia House of Delegates. Homegrown in Jefferson County, wife, mother, teacher, and realtor, I understand what the 66th District needs. Investment for safer roads, dependable broadband internet, quality public education, and common sense legislation to attract responsible businesses and protect our natural resources. My opponent, Paul Espinosa, seems to think his job is to protect corporations instead of the interests of the people he represents. I'm Storm Shiley Frame. I can't be bought, and as your delegate, I will work for you.
We've been in a slow-moving educational crisis in West Virginia. Our schools are crumbling, our teachers are struggling. We all see it in our communities. Our Constitution provides a guarantee for a thorough and efficient, free public education. When we brought claims to ensure those objectives were fulfilled in Fayette County, we improved our school system. Our Attorney General must serve as the counsel to our people to ensure this critical objective. I'm Sam Petsong, and I approve this message.
Cough, cough. Sorry.
Apparently Mule's name is Mule.
Orsini's, not just an appliance store anymore. They're your one-stop resource for all home needs, whether it's custom kitchen design, countertops, or cabinets, or check out their new sleep studio with Tempur-Pedic, Sealy, and Stearns & Foster. For all of your outdoor living needs, Orsini's has Gladiator Garage Works, Traeger grills, barbecue accessories, barbecue rubs and sauces, and every flavor wood pellets. Visit their brand new 8,200 square foot showroom at 360 Hack Wilson Way, 304-267-7251, Orsini's.com.
Remember when you were a little kid and saw your first deer?
Oh, how cute.
As an adult, maybe you've had a different experience.
Where'd that come from?
Bambi mess up your dream machine? Call Cody's Auto Body today at 304-901-4777 and get the work done right the first time. Cody's Auto Body, 851 Wilston Street in Martinsburg, has a team of auto body professionals with a lifetime of experience putting your ride back together again, regardless of how it got that way. Cody's Auto Body.
Steve Stollifer is running for Jefferson County Commissioner in the Cabletown District. He is a lifelong resident of Jefferson County and has a track record of dedication to his community, his family, and his career. His goals as your county commissioner are to promote agriculture, support small businesses, influence a safe and prosperous community, and facilitate conservative budgets with focus on maintaining critical services. Vote Steve Stollifer for Jefferson County Commissioner. Paid for by candidate.
Let's keep West Virginia moving in the right direction. Let's keep Patricia Rucker in the state Senate. State Senator Patricia Rucker kept her promise to fight for West Virginia values.
I'm Patricia Rucker, and I'm asking for your vote for State Senate.
As the State Senate Education Chair, Patricia Rucker led the charge to improve our schools. State Senator Patricia Rucker, promises made, promises kept.
I am Patricia Rucker, and I am proud to vote for our schools, our families, and our future.
I'm John Doyle. I'm running for re-election to the House of Delegates. In Charleston, I have fought hard for good public schools, better health care, and clean drinking water for the people of Jefferson County. And if I'm re-elected, I'll continue to do that. If you want government that is open and transparent, vote for John Doyle. If you want government that is responsible and responsive, vote for John Doyle. And if you want government that is accessible and accountable, vote for John Doyle. I'm John Doyle, and I approve this message.
Hi, I'm Elliot Simon, and I'm your candidate for delegate in the 67th District. During these uncertain times, the safety of our community is first and foremost as we work to get our economy back on track. I will take a common-sense approach to government to make sure that West Virginia Strong isn't just a slogan. West Virginia is up and coming. Let's keep it going. I'm Elliot Simon, and I'm asking for your vote.
Paid for by Simon for Delegate Mark Furman, Treasurer.
West Virginia is Trump country, and Mac Warner is working with President Trump to keep America great. Mac Warner cleaned up the Secretary of State's office and is fighting against election fraud. Pro-Trump, conservative, West Virginia Secretary of State Mac Warner.
Looking to buy a home in the Eastern Panhandle? Having trouble getting your house sold? Then call Chris Ross and the Milestone Real Estate Group at Keller Williams. A Martinsburg High School graduate, Chris knows the local market, and he's proven it as the #1 real estate team in West Virginia in 2019. Milestone Real Estate Group at Keller Williams. Phone 304-579-7349 or go to callchrisross.com. Let's celebrate your real estate milestone together.
Our dad taught us a lot about the law, but he taught us even more about life and people. He taught us to treat clients like family. At the Skinner Law Firm, the firm our father started here in the Eastern Panhandle, we still believe that.
We also believe that everyone has the right to be protected from those who don't play by the rules.
We believe it's about helping people. Call us at the Skinner Law Firm, where we treat you like family.
I'm Storm Shiley Frame, and I'm running to serve the 66th District in the West Virginia House of Delegates. Homegrown in Jefferson County, wife, mother, teacher, and realtor, I understand what the 66th District needs. Investment for safer roads, dependable broadband internet, quality public education, and common sense legislation to attract responsible businesses and protect our natural resources. My opponent, Paul Espinosa, seems to think his job is to protect corporations instead of the interests of the people he represents. I'm Storm Shiley Frame. I can't be bought, and as your delegate, I will work for you.
John Purdue never dreamed he'd go to college, let alone become one of the best state treasurers. John Purdue brought back financial integrity and transparency to the treasurer's office. He created the highly successful Smart 529 College Savings Program, and under his watch has returned more than $230 million in unclaimed property. He's created the 457 Retirement Program and WV Able, and his Board of Treasury Investments has the highest rating from Standard & Poor's.
I'm John Purdue, and I've never forgotten that I worked for you.
W. Harley Miller Systems understands the need and desire for reliable and affordable smart home solutions. Secure your home with a security system and keep a close eye on your family. Automate your home with a Control4 system and have smart technology work as one. Set daily schedules to control your thermostats. Push a button and set the mood for dinner by dimming lights and playing music, or just sit back and enjoy a movie in your own home theater. Put decades of experience to work for you. Visit us at WHMsystems.com or call 304-350-1931.
West Virginia is Trump country, and Mac Warner is working with President Trump to keep America great. Mac Warner cleaned up the Secretary of State's office and is fighting against election fraud. Pro-Trump, conservative, West Virginia Secretary of State Mac Warner.
W. Harley Miller Systems understands the need and desire for reliable and affordable smart home solutions. Secure your home with a security system and keep a close eye on your family. Automate your home with a Control4 system and have smart technology work as one. Set daily schedules.
We apologize for some technical difficulties. Had a microphone cable unplugged from the top of the press box. Final in this one, it was Jefferson beating Washington 32-29. And Matt, it's everything you expect in a cross-county rivalry.
Yeah, absolutely, and a tale of two halves. Let's go back to the first half. Washington takes the opening possession, 8 plays, 79 yards. Bang, it's a 7-0 lead on a 26-yard touchdown run for Frankie Amore. Jefferson couldn't do anything with it. Washington gets that football back, and on their second possession, a 7-play, 80-yard drive, a 52-yard touchdown run. That one coming for Bryce Fleming, and that would make it 14-0. Then Jefferson scores on their second possession. They get a 33-yard touchdown run out of their starting tailback, Evan Toole, who had himself a night. The two-point conversion cut it to 14-8. That would be the score going into quarter number 2. In that second quarter, after a stopped by the Jefferson defense. The Jefferson offense, just couldn't get anything going. Ultimately gave it back, and Washington puts together a 9-play, 66-yard drive. They get a 29-yard touchdown pass. That one going from Frankie Amore to Tyler Meisenzahl. That made it 21-8, but with 4:41 to play in the first half, it was a 1-yard touchdown run, capping a 7-play, 48-yard drive. Evan Toole for Jefferson cut it to 21-14 as the 2-point conversion failed, and you thought, okay, let's see what happens in this second half. Jefferson's getting the football. Can they drive down and tie this thing up? Well, they drove to the 1-yard line, but on 4th down and goal to go, could not get in. The Jefferson defense, though, comes out, stops Washington on 3 plays, forces a punt that gives the Cougar offense the football back in Washington territory. They put together a 7-play, 48-yard drive, 7 yards on the touchdown pass. That pass play going from Sammy Roberts to his wide receiver, Isaiah Fritz. But again, the 2-point conversion failed. Washington still led 21-20. The Patriots, again, could not do anything with the football as they went 3 plays and out. And the next time that Jefferson had it, it took them only 2 plays to cover 29 yards. A 5-yard touchdown run, this time for Christian Blau. And that would put the Cougars up 26-21. And that was our score going into the 4th quarter. But Washington would not be denied. They had a 14-play, 70-yard, 7-minute, 25-second drive that actually started with 37 seconds left in the 3rd quarter and didn't end until 5:12 to play in the game. The drive aided by a questionable catch on a floating ball that ended up netting them 17 yards on a 3rd and 11, and then somewhat questionable roughing the passer penalty that led to a few words from the sideline that led to an unsportsmanlike penalty. 30 yards later, the drive continues, and ultimately it was a 1-yard touchdown run for Tommy Wogan, and the 2-point conversion made it 29-26 Washington. It was up to that Jefferson offense again. What was going to happen? Well, they put together an 8-play, 66-yard drive in 2 minutes, 48 seconds. 18 yards on the touchdown run for Toole, and the 2-point conversion, well, it was incomplete, but nonetheless, Jefferson led 32-29, and the defense made sure that would be the final as they knocked down a pass on a 4th down and 6 as Washington from their own 40-yard line turned it over on downs, and Jefferson runs out the clock on a thrilling win.
There's a recap of the scoring in this one. Our post-game show brought to you by the Palace Lounge with Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg, featuring a full lunch and dinner menu with daily evening specials from 5 to 9, served in a clean, comfortable atmosphere. Check out the full menu on the Palace Lounge Facebook page. A 2-minute break to take back with the studio, then we are back to take a look at some stats from this one. We will also set you up for what could be next week and give out some awards in the post-game show. We're back in 2 minutes.
Our dad taught us a lot about the law, but he taught us even more about life and people. He taught us to treat clients like family. At the Skinner Law Firm, the firm our father started here in the Eastern Panhandle, we still believe that.
We also believe that everyone has the right to be protected from those who don't play by the rules.
We believe it's about helping people. Call us at the Skinner Law Firm, where we treat you like family.
Let's keep West Virginia moving in the right direction. Let's keep Patricia Rucker in the state Senate. State Senator Patricia Rucker kept her promise to fight for West Virginia values.
I'm Patricia Rucker, and I'm asking for your vote for state Senate.
As the State Senate Education Chair, Patricia Rucker led the charge to improve our schools. State Senator Patricia Rucker, promises made, promises kept.
I am Patricia Rucker, and I am proud to vote for our schools, our families, and our future.
Hello, my name is Tricia Jackson, and I am a candidate for Jefferson County Commission. I'm running to be a voice for the residents and a defender of their hard-earned money. I'm fiscally conservative and will work to ensure county government operates within its means. I will work to find resources that improve public safety and support our first responders. I will work to create and implement programs that help small businesses grow while creating good-paying local jobs. I am asking you to vote for me, Tricia Jackson, Jefferson County Commission, paid for by the Committee to Elect Jackson for Jefferson County.
Hey football fans, it's your friendly alarm professional, Ben Copenhaver with Dynamark Atlantic Security. Who do you trust to keep your family and valuables safe? Integrity, trust, and professionalism are all reasons why Dynamark is the choice for home and business security in the Eastern Panhandle. Dynamark is proud to serve the community and be your first choice for alarm solutions. Don't become a statistic of crime today. Phone Dynamark Security to protect your tomorrow. Phone 304-671-2158.
Cougar Stadium. It's time to take a look at post-game stats brought to you by Dynamark Atlantic Security. Hey, don't be a statistic. Protect your family and home and business with the local alarm professionals at Dynamark Atlantic Security. They have the solutions to meet your needs and local monitoring, too. Learn more by calling our buddy Ben Copenhaver at 304-671-2158. Matt, who do you want to start with?
It doesn't matter. Let's just start with the fact that it's a tale of two halves. Let's go to Jefferson. First half, only 21 plays for 124 yards to Washington's 36 plays for 248 yards. In the second half, Washington ran 24 plays but were held to just 58 yards, while Jefferson in the second half ran 31 plays for 229 yards. Who would have thought when you looked at the halftime numbers that by the end of this game, Jefferson would run 8 fewer plays than Washington, 52-60, but the Cougars would end up with 353 total yards, while Washington would end up with only 306 total yards. Just a total switch from the first half to the second half. And how they got it done, just what we expected. Washington had 256 rushing yards and just 50 passing yards. And in the end, when it came down to the passing game, they had 4 plays starting at their own 36, down by 3, needed to get something going, and ended up with 1 gain of 4 yards on a short pass and the other 3 incompletions. Let's see. Jefferson, meanwhile, they had 206 rushing yards, 147 yards through the air. For Washington, 5 of 13 on third down conversions, 2 of 4 on fourth down conversions. For Jefferson, 3 of 8 on third down conversions, and Jefferson went 1 for 1 converting on a fourth down back in the first half. 19 first downs on the game for the Jefferson Cougars. We would have 18 first downs in the game for the Washington Patriots. There was a turnover for Washington on an INT. That was on the final drive of the first half for Washington. Jefferson, great job tonight, did not turn over the football. A couple of individual numbers. Let's go with Frankie Amore, 3 of 8 passing for Washington for 50 yards, including a 29-yard touchdown that was hauled in by Tyler Meisenzahl. There were 13 carries for 63 yards for Tommy Wogan. He found the end zone on a 1-yard touchdown run. It's 12 carries, 68 yards for Frankie Amore. He had a 26-yard touchdown run in that first half, and then 9 carries, 99 yards, 1 short of 100 for Bryson Fleming, and Fleming had a 52-yard touchdown run in that first half. Meanwhile, for Jefferson, we'll give the award out later officially, but Evan Toole, 32 carries, 196 yards, and found the end zone 3 times tonight, 2 in the first half, and of course what proves to be the game-winning score at the 2:19 mark of this ball game. 3 carries, 13 yards for Christian Blau, including a 5-yard touchdown, and Sammy Roberts able to throw for a touchdown in this one, as Roberts would finish this game 8 of 14 for 147 yards, and that included a 7-yard touchdown pass to Isaiah Fritz. There you go, just some of the numbers from this one.
Post-game stats brought to you by Dynamark Atlantic Security. Hey, don't be a statistic. Protect your family, home, and business with the local alarm professionals at Dynamark Atlantic Security. They have all these solutions to meet your needs and local monitoring, too. To learn more, call Ben Copenhaver at 304-671-2158. Another 2-minute break to take. When we come back, we will give some awards out and set you up for a whole lot of uncertainty as to what we will be broadcasting next week. The final in this one, Jefferson 32, Washington 29. We're back in 2 minutes.
The Palace Lounge in Martinsburg offers hand-cut, locally sourced steaks, fresh seafood, and sandwiches with great daily specials like 75-cent wings all day Monday, prime rib on Tuesday, New York strip on Wednesday, and chef specials every Friday and Saturday. Ask for the lunch punch card and have lunch on the Palace Lounge on Edwin Miller Boulevard. And don't forget the Big Apple Lounge on Sater Drive in Inwood.
We've been in a slow-moving educational crisis in West Virginia. Our schools are crumbling, our teachers are struggling. We all see it in our communities. Our Constitution provides a guarantee for a thorough and efficient, free public education. When we brought claims to ensure those objectives were fulfilled in Fayette County, we improved our school system. Our Attorney General must serve as the counsel to our people to ensure this critical objective. I'm Sam Petzong, and I approve this message.
McCrae is dedicated to protecting our employees and you, our customers, as we provide our communities essential heating, cooling, and indoor air quality needs during these trying times. Take advantage of McCrae's exclusive offer. Purchase a new Trane high-efficiency system and receive a $1,000 instant rebate plus 0% interest financing for 48 months on qualifying products. Hurry, this offer won't last. Visit McCraeWay.com/TV today to learn more. It's hard to stop a train.
I am Lene Johnson, running for Jefferson County Commissioner. We all want our community to thrive through collaboration, inclusion, identifying common goals, and steering resources to where they are needed most. We can build a healthy environment and a more dynamic and productive economy for Jefferson County. It's important to reach constituents with factual, believable, and transparent information. When voters are informed, they act. When they act, we all win. Vote November the 3rd, Lene Johnson for Jefferson County Commissioner.
Paid for by candidate.
And we welcome you back into the Palace Lounge post-game show. Time to give out some awards for the evening. Let's first start with the collision of the game, sponsored by Cody's Auto Body at 851 Wilson Street in Martinsburg. Family-owned, Cody's offers superior customer service at a great price, performed by experienced, certified technicians. Find them online at codysauto.com or phone 304-901-4777. Matt, I think we got to give this one, because it was really one of the only ones we called out. I think Brady Crispin's hit back in that second quarter was one of the bigger collisions we saw today. Yeah, absolutely was. I mean, this was a hard-hitting physical type of game, but a little bit different than maybe some of the bigger hits that you might see, when the game's being played a little more out in the open field. But, that was definitely a big one for Crispin. Electrifying play of the game. Brought to you by Orsini's in Martinsburg, offering top names in kitchen and laundry appliances. And for you grill masters, Traeger wood-fired grills. Find out more online at Orsinis.com and at their new location at 360 Hack Wilson Way in Martinsburg. I think it's got to be the winning touchdown run. At least that's what I'm going with. I think Evan Toole, where he starts to the inside, bounces to the outside, has receivers on that far side that were not in the play at all, still blocking upfield. Diving for the pylon, and what turned out to be the game-winning play, or the game-winning score at least. That deflection at the end of the game was a big one as well, but that's my vote for the electrifying play of the game is the Evan Toole touchdown run. Yeah, I can go with you there, but I've got to give an honorable mention to Christian Blau as the junior picked off that pass on a 4th down and 5 from the Jefferson 35 right at the end, 28 seconds left in that first half. That was a ball that looked like the receiver had. Then all had it and was juggling it just a bit. It ended up almost on his backside, and then eventually down into the hands of Blau, who came up with it in the end zone and then brought it back out to the 2-yard line. I'll give that one certainly an honorable mention, and the game-winning touchdown, that play of the game. And our player of the game brought to you by McCrae Heating and Air Conditioning Services, named America's most trusted HVAC brand for 6 consecutive years. McCrae Heating and Air. Visit them at McCraeWay.com, and I'm guessing this pretty much goes unsaid, but Evan Toole for Jefferson, clearly above and beyond the Call of Duty here tonight, and did an extremely good job running the football for Jefferson, and a big reason why they won the game. Yeah, 32 carries, 196 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns. If he doesn't have a game like that tonight, they don't get the win by 3. All right, one more 2-minute break to take back at the studio. When we come back, we will tell you what is going on next week, or really a lot of what we don't know. what is going on next week in terms of what our next broadcast will be with the state color code map. That coming up on the backside of our final 2-minute break. This is the post-game show brought to you by the Palace Lounge on over to Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg. Back in 2 minutes.
John Purdue never dreamed he'd go to college, let alone become one of the best state treasurers. John Purdue brought back financial integrity and transparency to the treasurer's office. He created the highly successful Smart 529 College Savings Program, and under his watch has returned more than $230 million in unclaimed property. He's created the 457 Retirement Program and WV Able, and his Board of Treasury Investments has the highest rating from Standard & Poor's.
I'm John Purdue, and I've never forgotten that I worked for you.
Erie Insurance says here's to the grown-ups who move, mortgage, mow, and still bust a move. But does your home insurance still fit? Erie helps you protect the home you've grown into, all at fair prices that are often less than the other guys. So how do you find the right coverage? Magic. Nope. Local independent agents who get to know you like this.
Your local Erie agent in Martinsburg is Smallwood & Small Insurance. Get a quote at smallwoodandsmall.com.
Erie Insurance.
Ever try to collect on an insurance claim? Perhaps a homeowner's claim, auto accident, or fire. Insurance companies collect money from you for protection should something bad happen. And when it does, they don't want to pay, or they offer too little. At Mansion Ferretti, we have an attorney who worked defending insurance companies and knows all the dirty tricks they play to deny or lowball your claim. Call us today for help in getting what you really deserve. Mansion Ferretti, when you need justice.
I had to pack up all my things. I had to leave my home. And I never knew where I was going next. It felt like I never even had a say. But then you came along.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
To change a child's story, go to mycasaep.org.
We welcome you back in one final time to Cougar Stadium in Shenandoah Junction. It was Jefferson getting the win over Washington 32-29 this evening. It's time to set up what's next. And, well, we don't have a lot of answers on that right now. We have a couple of hypotheticals, but I don't want to start throwing out games because we just don't know. So right now we know that as of today, Berkeley County is still orange. We know that Jefferson County is currently yellow. We also know that all of that means diddly until tomorrow night at 5 p.m. So what we're setting you up for is to keep it tuned to our Facebook page and to our sportscasts early on in the week on Monday and Miller time from 12 to 1 on Monday. We will have an update on our Facebook page, Talk Radio WRNR and TV10, as to what our game and or games may be coming up next week. Again, if there's a open date that's not a Friday night, we will try to cover that as best we can. So keep it tuned to the Facebook page over the weekend. If you don't see it on the Facebook page over the weekend, we will have answers for you between 6 and 8 with Sportscast with Rob Mario on Monday morning. And, again, a full recap of the weekend and what next week looks like on our Miller Time program on Monday. Mr. Miller, it's been a fun one. Any scores from around the Mountain State real quick?
Well, I'm getting an update on my phone as we speak. It looks like Greenbrier East in the fourth quarter leading AA number 1 Sissonville 41-38. South Charleston all over Huntington in the fourth quarter 35-14. That's after South Charleston scored a win against St. Albans earlier in the week 56-7. Spring Valley knocks off number 2 Bridgeport tonight 35-10. As Bridgeport falls now to 4-1, 35-10. Yep, that is already a final. Parkersburg with a 54-14 win over John Marshall. Princeton 40-0. They lead Lincoln County. Last reported score in the third quarter there. Ripley with a 35-7 win over Shady Spring. Ripley was ranked number 15, so they pick up a win. They may move up in the standings a little bit. Then you've got Capital over Riverside. That was a game earlier this week, 30-6 the final. Morgantown 61, Lindsley 40. University over Preston 42-9, and George Washington running away from Woodrow Wilson 45-27. That is a look at scores from around Class AAA. Frankfort with a 36-19 win over North Marion in AA football. So number 2 Frankfort continues to roll. North Marion was number 6 in AA, so that's a big win for the Falcons.
There's our quick look around the state. Again, no other games in the Eastern Panhandle. Well, that is going to wrap up our coverage tonight. A big thanks to both head coaches for interviews, stats, lineups, and rosters throughout the week. A big thanks to everybody here at Cougar Stadium, including the fun crew up here in the press box and athletic director Bill Stewart. Our cameraman for tonight's festivities was John Alderton. On the sideline, camera and on-site producer was Colin McLaughlin. Back at the studio was Donald Kenny. For Matt Miller, I'm Matt Crawford, reminding you one final time, it was Jefferson beating Washington 32-29. Until we hope next week, we'll see you then.
Erie Insurance says here's to the grown-ups who move, mortgage, mow, and still bust a move. But does your home insurance still fit? Erie helps you protect the home you've grown into, all at fair prices that are often less than the other guys. So how do you find the right coverage? Magic. Nope. Local independent agents who get to know you like this.
Your local Erie agent in Martinsburg is Smallwood & Small Insurance. Get a quote at smallwoodandsmall.com.
Erie Insurance.
This is Eric from Hagerstown Ford. I want to thank you for your continued support of helping Hagerstown Ford's efforts to be number 1 in the region. As we get closer to this extremely aggressive goal, I want to recap why Hagerstown Ford should be your only consideration when buying your next vehicle. Number 1, we have the best prices from Winchester, Virginia to Washington, D.C., from Hershey, Pennsylvania to Baltimore, Maryland. I assure you, price will not be the reason you don't buy from Hagerstown Ford. Number 2, we have a real return policy that's better than Walmart. Seriously, if you don't like it, return it. We'll give you 3 days to make sure you love your new ride. And finally, we'll bring your new car, truck, or SUV to you, just like Amazon does. Never step foot in a dealership again. Stop the silly back-and-forth negotiations that make everyone crazy. It's dumb, and it's a total waste of time. Besides, we hate it worse than you do. Simply log on to HagerstownFord.com and let us make your next buying process fun, easy, and risk-free. What do you got to lose? Visit HagerstownFord.com and let us cater to you. See dealer for details.
Steve Stollifer is running for Jefferson County Commissioner in the Cabletown District. He is a lifelong resident of Jefferson County and has a track record of dedication to his community, his family, and his career. His goals as your county commissioner are to promote agriculture, support small businesses, influence a safe and prosperous community, and facilitate conservative budgets with focus on maintaining critical services. Vote Steve Stollifer for Jefferson County Commissioner. Paid for by candidate.
Let's go! And that concludes today's post-game show. Today's game has been brought to you by
Kent Parsons Ford of Martinsburg, the Skinner Law Firm, Smallwood & Small Insurance, Mac Warner for West Virginia Secretary of State, Patricia Rucker for West Virginia State Senate, Paul Espinosa for the West Virginia House of Delegates, Elliot Simon for the West Virginia House of Delegates, Wayne Clark for the West Virginia House of Delegates, Steve Stollifer for the Jefferson County Commission, Tom Hansen for Jefferson County Sheriff, Lene Johnson for the Jefferson County Delegates, Tricia Jackson for Jefferson County Commission, Greg Lance for Sheriff of Jefferson County, Panhandle Dumpsters, Bricks 27 Restaurant, WVU Medicine East, Hagerstown Ford, the Brown Funeral Homes and Cremations, Bechtel Jewelers, the Mirius Group of Financial Advisors, Natalie Tennant for West Virginia Secretary of State, John Perdue for West Virginia Treasurer, Sam Petzonk for West Virginia Attorney General, the Palace Lounge Bar and Grill, and the Berkeley County Health Department.